Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
No warm-up. I feel a little naked right now.
Cover yourself, sir.
I know. I feel a little naked right now with no warm-up today.
Well, we got a busy week this week, these next couple weeks,
Yes.
actually. Our beer release is this Saturday at Hourglass Brewing in Longwood.
I'm excited about that.
Starts at 11, ends around 2-ish, although people will be hanging out all day. And if you want to come purchase the beer, it goes officially for sale at noon. First 100 people will get a free prize with their purchase. We're going to have merch out there. It's the day before Father's Day, so if you want to get any Tom and Dan merch for Father's Day or beer, come out to Hourglass. It's completely free, obviously.
Let me ask you.
We'll all be out there.
Let me ask you an optics question about this beer. Is it done and canned?
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah,
They're going to come
Hourglass,
in tomorrow.
Yes, I assume it is.
I would assume that it is.
Here's why I was going to ask, and they might want to. I might need to give them a buzz, a phone call, if you will. I know that's weird, considering that text message and email is how most things get done. But I had a friend of the show, broadcaster and morning journalist Mitch English, reached out to me, and they're doing like a Father's Day themed television spot, and he's like, is your beer out yet? Because I want to use it for our TV spots. And I'm like, well, if I can get some, I will drive it to you personally myself so you can use it on your television program. So yeah, we'll put that out there. If anybody knows if that beer's done, I got to get a couple cans to Mitch English so he can use it on his television program. I'm sure Hourglass would want that, but
I assume I assume they'll be bringing it in tomorrow. But I have no idea.
We don't know.
Too busy.
We're not making the beer. We're just talking about the beer being made.
Between this, Carts and Kegs, that's coming up the next Sunday.
Yes.
We got a week of vacation, too.
And you got to get your outfit ready because
doubling down on recording.
Sam's got outfits
Yeah,
and
we need
full
to we need to coordinate so
you,
that we match.
And you guys have like a whole thing that you're doing. You're dressed like, I don't know if you realize this, but you're dressed like Mary Poppins Very Merry, where the penguins, where you guys are all like red and white. You're in that like Holly Jolly kind of an outfit.
Pyro Spot is opening next week.
Yes.
I'm trying to get their promotion and advertising ready.
Yeah.
And then also we're doing some something special.
Some
with
back alley shady deals.
Organic meats. We're going to be able to offer I probably shouldn't even promote it yet. It's not even done. But we want to do a Tom and Dan meat box. And,
how do you feel about a
and
meat
get
box?
mailed
That's why you invited
to
me
our
over.
listeners.
Right.
Yeah.
I know,
But anyway,
exactly.
So with everything going on,
Kenny does his
it's
own
a
sound
lot.
effects, which is off-putting. You know what? I've never said anything negative about you on this show, but never do that again.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Once in a while,
what? You can do it a couple more times.
I'll fantasize about the summer of
My meat box?
2020 when Corona was full bore and everybody thought the world was ending and everybody was stuck in their houses.
Yeah, it was better, right?
There was a time
It was
where
a better time.
I drive by when we stayed in that Airbnb next to our house when our house was getting renovated. It was dead middle of Corona. There was nothing, like everything was shut down. Nothing on the foreseeable future.
Sure.
Like no events to plan.
No.
Nothing. And I drive by that house and I look at it and I like fantasize about sitting there having nothing to do. Thinking how, like, I use it as a meditation.
You're such an odd bird because you say you fantasize about doing nothing, but you also say you hate doing nothing.
I do.
He does,
but
it's a catch-22.
It forced me because there was literally nothing we could do. So it was a complete,
There's a difference in having nothing to do and nothing you can do.
Okay.
Yeah, because if I'm sitting there and I know I can do when we should be doing events and all these things, then we should be
then you
building.
Feel guilty.
I can't just sit there knowing that I should be doing something. But when the world forced me to do nothing, I had like a relaxation that I've never had in 10 years. You know, it's just like, well, I can't do anything. So you could literally enjoy your life with your family.
And now
you can do that.
No.
You just choose
I'm
not
tormented.
to.
It's a
never
disease.
can do that. And now everybody's back, and it's everybody's back now.
Yeah,
Let's
everybody's
go.
back hard.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Sorry.
Do you still do that thing where you put on all your scuba gear and just float to the bottom of your pool and just...
That was Daniel's fantasy.
Yeah, I've always wanted. That was me.
Oh, did I say I was going to do that? Yeah. I want to do that. But the thing is, I can run from my problems, but they haunt me.
Yeah, you can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah. Grady
Judd.
I cannot think about it,
Isn't that what
procrastinate.
he says that.
You know, like why my life is falling apart, but it'll be haunting me and chasing me the entire time, knowing that I have to do something. I have to try to work. Anyway. How you doing, Kenny?
Yeah, I mean, like you've been, this ties in perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've been following you on social media. Kenny has probably been the most stressed out and most busy of any Kenny time I've ever seen, right?
Yeah, it's been absolutely insane. For those of you who don't follow me on social media, I was helping to produce the Special Olympics, which were in Orlando for the past week and a half, which was really cool. It's obviously the USA Games.
So
it's the largest
you
Olympics.
are hiding the Haitian Special Olympics members that are going missing.
Oh, I saw that.
You're hiding them as they defect to our grand nation of the United States.
Only one of them's an athlete. So the other 5 are just like random coaches, which makes me wonder, did they just lie? Be like, yeah, I'm a coach.
I mean, I would.
Right.
Andrea asked me this
Did they
yesterday.
defect?
Andrea asked me yesterday. She's like, well, they're just defecting. They just want to stay in the States, right?
Yeah.
And I said, of course they do.
The odds are that they defected because they
Yeah.
left all their belongings in the hotel.
I would do the same
and
thing.
then just left.
Yeah. If you get me on U.S. soil and I'm from another country, I'm not leaving here. Sorry. I'm staying here.
Yeah,
You're
well,
gonna
if you
have
want-
to.
yeah.
You're gonna have to package me up and send me back, right? Like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going peacefully.
Whatever happened to Elian Gonzalez?
You don't want to know.
They shipped him back, and that's all.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all she
Never
wrote.
heard of him again.
I think
no.
he's-
A lot of people don't know
He's
this.
got to be
He's my
20.
age. He's my age.
No,
he
yeah.
grew up to be Daddy Yankee.
he's got to be
Look it. Google it. Google it.
I've never seen him in the same room. I'll say
As
that.
Daddy Yankee? No.
gotta be
And Daddy
near
Yankee put out
30.
new music, and he's retired now.
Because I remember I was on the streets of Miami
Looking
and
for him.
driving
You
around
and the
during
wizard.
the riots, the Elian Gonzalez riots, where they're burning tires on the Berg
Yeah.
Road, and I was in high school, and he was like 7.
Yeah, he was,
so it like
he's
10
younger
years
than all
young-
of us.
But he's only 10 years younger. You know what I'm saying? So like he's got to be 30 now. How old is he, Sam?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking into what he's up to now, but he was 5 when he was found.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
so
even younger.
Yeah.
he's like 25 now.
Yeah.
He's got to be older.
Some-
He
than
can run
that,
a
right?
car now himself.
Well, like I said, I was in high school, and
I wonder if do you think he's one of those
17,
kids that
16?
wants to learn how to drive, or is he one of the new kids that like, nah, dog,
He's 28.
driving's for
Ah.
boomers.
he's got to be a celebrity in Cuba, right? Like there
Mildly,
was a huge thing.
he's got a couple sandwiches on the menus. You know, like come get the Elian burger.
Does he do any social media? You think
he's
he
got
would,
a
right?
kid.
Oh, he's got a kid.
Yeah.
He's probably like one of those child actors that just like goes to the Cuba cons and then
Okay.
just like signs autographs.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I know for certain: if you're Elian Gonzalez and you have a kid, you get one of your buddies to wear riot gear and hold your kid, and you make him do the same pose that you had just for funsies, right?
Christmas
You do-
card.
You do it. Nah, I don't know if you do Christmas card because it's going to get a lot of heat. I'm just saying you do it and you at least swap it around in your circles, right?
O.J. Simpson dressed up as the L.A. cop,
yeah.
LAPD
Yes,
for
for
Halloween.
Halloween, yeah.
Like,
Yes.
that happened.
And he had a book called If I Did It. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Elian, not the best sense of humor. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on where's his
Yeah.
humor level.
yeah.
Where's
He's a
your
stand-up.
humor level about something so traumatic to you?
Yeah. I'm
he's a
sure
stand-up comedian in Havana.
Right.
the Cuban government probably
So nice to you.
you know,
Kind.
keeps their thumb on him. You know, they don't want him going to the United States
No.
as an adult and then
Because
like
they'd be like,
defect-
you know who that is?
Bad for PR for the
Yes.
Cuban government. Anyway, what you been up to, Kenny?
the Special Olympics, Tom. That's
Oh,
literally
yeah,
back to the
forgot
Special
it.
Olympics.
Yeah, so it was here
Yes.
at it was
It
in
all
multiple
comes back to the Special
Oh,
Olympics.
we got so tangent-y. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was in multiple venues around Orlando, primarily Disney. They were one of the main sponsors, but they were at Boardwalk Bowl, the tennis center out at Lake Nona,
Nice.
the Rosen Aquatic Center.
And this is a very big deal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the Olympics, but for special
Yeah.
needs performers.
Is
but
it
this was,
always moved to a different?
Yeah, it's every 4 years. Well, so there's the USA Games and there's the International Games. And they do it like every 2 years, well, every 4 years, but, offset. So
Yeah.
it
2
was
and 2.
here. It's going to be in Minneapolis 4 years from now. But I helped produce like the media content. So any venue that you went to and you saw all the screens with everything there, that was all the stuff I did. The opening ceremonies were there. Sarah Bareilles performed. Tim Tebow was there on
I
the
thought I
sideline.
saw Chris Nikic, our friend.
Yeah.
He lit the
He
torch.
lit the torch. Yeah,
Did you see
That's
it?
awesome.
Oh man, the smile on that cat's face,
Yeah.
like he was the best guy they could have picked for it. It gave me chills. Like when you're watching the opening ceremony, you're like, oh my god, this
Yeah.
is really nice.
They introduced all the states in there, and he led Florida, and he lit the torch.
That's dope.
Crowd went wild. He was actually performing in the triathlon and the open water swim, and I'm like, He's an Iron Man. I think that's a little not fair for him to compete in the trap.
Yeah, we're leaking
Did he
into,
blow
like,
the
oh
doors
my
off
God. Have you
everybody?
seen that guy's arms?
Yeah.
Have you seen Chris Nikich's arms? Like 1% better. He's blown by that. He's like now about 40 to 50% better.
He's finishing Ironman competitions,
Yeah.
and a lot of people can't even finish that able-bodied.
But I believe from following him on social media and talking to Sam, I believe that his girlfriend competes. So he's got a lot of love there and a lot of friends that are competing, even though maybe he's on a more professional track, I would say. I mean, he's very, very dedicated to his stuff.
This is going to come off like I'm trying to make a 90s radio joke. I promise I'm not.
Okay.
Follow me here because
Right.
I
don't know where you're going, but I will follow you. You know I will follow you.
But I promise
I'm
I'm not.
in the car. Where are we going, Daddy?
And I'm not trying to
Where
make
are we
a joke
going?
about anything. But
I don't need to know where we're going.
And let me explain, because me and Daniel met a guy. We went scuba diving. We used to do these Caradonna scuba diving trips.
Raggio.
And we met Raggio. And Raggio was ripped, gigantic. He was on steroids.
He
He
was
told
on
me.
steroids.
He was trying to get me to. He's like, I'll get you steroids. He's like, this is
He's like,
awesome.
you can do some of mine.
He's like, I eat 3,000 calories for breakfast. And he's like, look how ripped I am.
He was
my
ripped.
God. Yeah, and so anyway, he told us that he hurt his neck in the army or something like that.
Yeah,
And
he landed wrong and hurt
then-
himself.
But it wasn't that bad. But he technically has like
a disability.
it's an injury.
Yes.
And then he somehow got into the
Yeah.
the Paralympics.
There's difference. There's the Paralympics, which is for physical.
No,
Yeah, okay.
but follow me out here. So
Follow me.
He got into the Paralympics and told us, he's like, my neck's not even that bad, but I'm
He's like,
racing
there's a
against.
technicality I could get in there. I blow their shoes off.
And he was winning
Yeah.
in the Paralympics, and he told us, he's like, technically I have this injury, so I'm like eligible for it, but I'm fine. So
Yeah.
I'm just like I
Like,
win.
It is for my neck, but man, do I blow their
I'm like-
scuba gear off.
Yeah, I'm like, you're winning gold medals,
Yeah.
and you're not supposed. I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, so, and I know that I promise, but is there some sort of test?
What do you promise?
No.
I promise.
Well, I'm not trying to
Wait a
do the
minute, what do you-
stupid Johnny Knoxville
Oh,
movie
okay.
or
Well,
whatever.
yeah, The Ringer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was, I guess, the same premise or whatever. But is there some sort of commission that deems you eligible for the
Right.
Special
You-
Olympics?
you do have to
like
be
you
clear-
couldn't fake your way.
Correct.
Or,
You have to be cleared by a doctor. Basically, a doctor has to do a health screening on you.
Like an
to
evaluation
determine-
to determine what area you're in.
And then is there like some sort of like I don't know, like I know you're not an expert in this, but is there a level of like
Yeah, I'm sure there is. So
eligibility?
Because this is the USA Games, these people have won in their states. So each state also has their own set of games. So they've already been cleared and qualified for these events.
And I believe this is where, if you're just
because
being...
not everybody has Down syndrome, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's not
all-
just down. Correct.
No, it's
Okay.
it's broader than that. And what's interesting and cool about this is I think this is kind of where Nick got his start, if I remember correctly. Like he started training and doing Special Olympic stuff, and then he kind of got the bug, and then he was like, "Well, I can go a little further," and that's when he started doing like the half Ironmans and the full Ironmans, and he did the big one, the Kona one in
Yeah.
Hawaii. So I think he just kind of navigated out of that space to do things more impressive.
What other syndromes like are you eligible
God.
for the Special Olympics for? Like I'm just
That's
curious,
an
like
interesting question. I don't know.
Actually, that I don't know, unfortunately.
because it all has. I mean, it can't be like stuff that doesn't hinder you that much. It can be like you have Crohn's disease. And you're in the you know what I'm saying?
Right,
it was
right.
like,
No,
this
I see
guy
what
just
you're saying.
had
Yeah.
diarrhea all the
But
time.
was this guy a swimmer? The guy that
Yes,
you're talking
yes.
about? Okay. He had a brain injury, not a neck injury. A traumatic brain
Oh, you
injury.
found him?
Yeah. Yeah, Norm found him and posted an article in the...
Oh, did he
Twitch.
get caught? Because he seemed like he got
Yeah,
caught.
he was talking about it. Great.
He was in a wheelchair,
He loved
and,
talking about. He's doing wheelies in the airport.
and he's like they pushed me around if I request a wheelchair. He had like a cast on his
boot.
leg, a
Yeah.
boot, and he could walk fine. He was scuba diving
Yeah.
the day before. Anyway,
This is my fake injury boot. I'm like, all
Yeah,
right.
I don't get that with hospitals. needles. Like I went in there because I had my tonsils removed, and they needed to wheelchair me out. And I'm like, I can walk.
Well,
guys.
a lot of people don't know your tonsils are in your ass. You have ass tonsils.
It's some insurance thing. Anyway,
They don't want you to
So
fall.
what was really cool was the WWE is one of the big sponsors there. So like the Undertaker was out and hanging around, and like a bunch of
God,
like
I bet those kids were going nuts.
oh yeah, a bunch of
dude.
random wrestlers just like hang out, and then they'll just attend the event. So
That's
all of
cool.
a sudden you'll
That's
just see
cool.
7-foot tall Undertaker just hanging out watching basketball with everyone.
They've always seemingly had a really good partnership with
Oh, yeah.
Special Olympics, and that stuff moves the needle. That's
They
pretty
sponsored
awesome.
the weightlifting event too,
That's
so you
dope.
get to like see them like power yelling at the
That's
athletes
awesome.
lifting it
I
up.
bet the kids love that, man.
Oh,
And a
it's
lot of them
amazing.
aren't kids, but most of them are, and they
Exactly.
just love it.
Well, what's really cool is you'll see someone and it'll be like, yeah, he is 57 years old and he's like winning gold in basketball or archery
That's
or
dope.
something.
how many different events are there?
So there's 20 sports. There's like obviously multiple events per sport, but then they have like really weird ones that you don't think, like bocce. Like bocce ball is a
yeah.
sport for that. Have you guys ever played that?
Only
I don't know if
at-
I
What
actually
is it?
know what bocce ball is.
I have
Is that the
played
colored balls?
Yeah, it's like cornhole but with colored balls.
Yeah, I've played it at Lazy Moon Pizza. They have bocce nights.
Hold on, you throw like a tiny ball, and then you
Well,
have
they're
to.
not tiny. I mean, they're
Well, I'm saying your initial like because it's closest to the pin type of deal.
I
right?
have no idea.
I think but there's a tiny ball that you throw out there, and then the other balls.
I've never
you try
seen the tiny ball, only the big balls.
Okay, but what's the goal then?
To get, yeah, it's just like what he's saying, like cornhole. It's like to get your ball close. It's almost like curling. Like you're getting the balls to a certain area by rolling them or toss rolling them on like a little patch of grass, fake grass.
And the bullseye, though, I thought the bullseye was a tiny ball.
People are saying you're right. Like you start with a little ball, and that like I don't know anything about
Okay,
it.
yeah.
I just rolled a couple of the big balls.
But then, so the little ball is the goal.
That's the target.
a target, and then you try to get the other balls closest. And then like curling, you can knock other people's balls away from it.
Yeah.
So
Old people love bocce ball.
Exactly, but apparently it's huge in the Special Olympics. Like every state had like 5 different teams.
And pickleball.
competing in that.
I rode past a pickleball court yesterday on my bike, and man, those old people are fighting and yelling. They love some pickleball.
Were
Love
you
it.
guys at the quarry when they did like a pickleball tournament?
We were not.
No, that was
we were
after
not.
us,
That
yeah.
was after.
So I remember
us.
that was like they didn't
Actually,
do the,
that event was so terrible that was the straw. That's what made us leave.
on.
We were like, no.
no, I've seen pickleball, but it's like an older man's game, right?
I have
Like
no
handball.
I-
Like
it's
you're
it's
prisoners.
insane to me
old
that they would
men.
make that game like for older people and then force old men to use such a nonsensical and just flim-flammy, horrible name for, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to get my dad to play pickleball. He might have played. But if he had to tell his friends that he played something called pickleball, that would almost be harder than playing the game itself.
I feel like
You know what I mean?
for years in my mind, racquetball was only played by rich white men. Like
Yeah.
in movies, like in
Sweatband,
Wall Street,
tiny shorts.
Yeah, like rich guys would play
I went through a
racquetball.
racquetball phase in the early
And they have like the
2000s,
Horace
late
Grant goggles.
Yeah, I played. I played with Russ and Jimmy from the Monsters. We would go up and play racquetball up here off of Lee Road. We would play all together. We'd play.
Well, there's a difference between, because I think Tom's talking about like the indoor courts.
That's where we play
That's a
on.
rich man's game. It's
Yeah.
the outdoor ones where the ball just
you
ends
could
up.
never find one because
Yeah.
there'd be kids like camped out like in it playing like GI Joes or something, and then we ain't moving, like, and then you'd be like, I want to play,
Well, the outdoor courts then it like goes into handball, and then it goes into either prison or like a poor old
You
man.
need a full. I think in order to accomplish what Tom's talking about for racquetball, you need the full square, like you're in a rectangle, and it's got to be the back wall has to be glass where somebody else
All
can
glass.
stand out there and watch you play.
Yeah.
And you can talk in between. Like I've only done that. I went through a phase where I do that, and I do that for like maybe 2 weeks. 3 times a week, and then for whatever reason it all falls apart. I buy
think
a
another-
racket, I buy the whole thing.
Another rich person sport is croquet.
We had that growing up. That was a
Yeah.
poor person thing.
Yes, it was.
Really?
Yeah, we had it, and we played it in my lumpy backyard. It never worked.
Yeah.
Got ant bites all
See,
over my legs. My
that's-
dad's like, yo,
that
bending all the wickets.
Is that a rich man, poor man?
Yeah.
thing?
Well, it is, but it's also geographic. Like croquet in the South is poor, but as you get closer to Maine, rich. It's just, and then you get on a horse, real rich.
Well, is it because just you need a lot of plot of land, so poor people either have acres of land or rich people have acres of land?
You
It's
don't
the quality of
technically
grass.
need a lot of land either. You
Yeah.
can make the course very small.
Yeah. But also,
They sold like cheap versions of it at like Kmart.
Yeah, like we had
Yeah.
one that was like wood, and then all the balls were colored, and it would come in like a little cart. It was a wooden cart. I think I threw it out when my mom passed away. I think we still had it. And like everything, it had like white plastic on either side of the mallets. So the rubber was white, and the mallets were colored, and all the balls were colored. And you would roll it out to the field and set it all up. And the way that Florida's engineered, there isn't a piece of ground that you're going to have like tight knit grass on.
you need rich grass.
Yeah, you need like area that has no molehills, and everything in
Yeah.
Florida has like some sort of rodent has crawled underneath it. So it's just not. It's lumpy bumpy.
I just know one of the rules is you're allowed to put your foot on your ball, and then you're just like allowed to ricochet, smack.
Well,
the other
if you're
person's
up
ball.
against a ball,
Yeah.
you can put your foot on it and then use the I guess the
You need some-
inertia to rocket the other ball.
high quality Zosia grass and not some stinky brown Bahia that we all have.
But hey, it don't work.
Yeah, with tall ass seedlings
You
growing
need
out of
tight,
it.
fast grass.
Yeah. The rich golf course Bahia or whatever it's called, Zosia.
Zosia.
Never heard of
tight.
Zosia.
Yeah,
She was a child. She was a Spanish children's television host. From us, remember?
I know your
Her
reference
name
you're
is
talking about.
Zusha. Zusha.
Gosh,
is-
she was so hot.
Yeah, Zusha is. Google Zusha.
When you were like a 10-year-old kid, she was so hot. Her, and then this is a throwback. The
Comfy couch girl.
oh no, the chugga chugga choo choo girl.
You mean
The choo choo train.
her name is
No,
her name,
no, yeah.
her name is Genevieve Givings,
There you
and
go.
she is from the show Choo Choo Soul.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
Smoking
too
hot Latina.
That is too young for you, sir, and you should not be watching that. I'll give you the other one. I'll give
well,
you.
we talked about her.
I'll give you Zusha, but I will not give you Choo Choo Soul's Genevieve Givings.
Do they do mall appearances anymore? Do any celebrities do mall
Not
appearances?
I
mall.
don't think so.
Not mall.
In the
No, it's
Midwest.
conventions now, right? It's
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
conventions.
you're right. It is conventions.
There's a convention for literally everything now.
I'm over conventions. Sorry, EJ. I know you own a convention, but I'm over conventions.
Does he really own it?
He says
His
he
wife
does.
runs
it's
it.
his
Yeah.
wife.
He
Yeah,
says
Let's
he
be
does.
clear.
Well, I was listening to
The voicemail?
a voicemail that Kenny left us a voicemail where everybody seems to be waging war on EJ lately.
We
Whether
do.
the listeners hate him, they do.
We dropped them down to once a month.
I
I did it
know.
for you.
Canadian Josh hates him. Kenny hates him. Like, okay, tell your story because he saw a beat up van.
Yeah.
that had it on the back of it.
It looked like an old 1990 like Chevy cargo van.
Oh, hold on.
Hold on. Now why are you
this
shaming
is gonna
him?
start breaking some
yeah.
relationships apart. Have you prepared yourself for some drama this week? Because this guy's
Oh,
about
too much drama this
Yeah,
past week.
this guy's drama crazy. He's about to assassinate EJ.
I'm driving around and I see it, and on the back of it says Mystic Con. I was like, that name
Yes.
sounds familiar. And underneath it had a website, my-con.com, and I'm like,
Correct.
that's the right. And then it had a phone number. I don't know if the phone number's correct.
And then you left me a voicemail. Your voicemail basically says that you saw that immediately. You thought that some poor redneck was writing.
Well, no, first I thought it was like, that must be EJ, like helping out his wife, because clearly his wife would be driving around in this beat up old van.
Did he
So-
put it on the spare tire?
yeah, and it's in those.
Yeah.
I like
And
it airbrushed.
No, it's not airbrushed.
Or-
it's
oh,
those
yeah.
little white and black letters you buy at Ace Hardware.
Yeah, and
for
then
your
you-
mailbox.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I drove past it. I'm like, I was gonna honk at him, wave, point that I have a
give him the
BDM.
touch tip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's just this old black man just like driving around. And again, he wasn't driving bad.
Snort. We got to snort.
You got him.
He wasn't
got it.
driving bad or anything, but it took. I had to do a double take because I'm like, it's this old real man driving around in this van. I was like,
Come on down to the Mr. Con.
did they just hire him to drive? And I'm like, but this was, in this Soto area. So I'm like, where's he going? I have no idea where they would be parking it.
Why are you doing it, Kenny? He's
starting a war.
Why
He's starting a war.
Listen. I'm just spitting.
Yeah.
I'm spitting truths that I see. I'm not disparaging.
So did
when
we
you're-
ever get to the bottom of why or who?
No,
or
because he ended up turning down like a side road. I'm like, oh, I'm like, what the hell was that?
Listen, if you are putting mailbox letters on your vehicle,
the back of your van. It's normally a van. It is.
For advertising purposes, doing more harm than good. I'm just saying, if anybody sees that, they're going to be like, well.
And here's the thing, and this is why I think it's an EJ move and not his wife, because his wife, I'm sure, his wife runs an amazing con. Like it's a
No, I know.
convention.
It's only $5.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
She
it's
built
great.
it with the amount of people that are going and what she built it from nothing.
And
it's impressive.
the people she gets, it's great. But then
All I'm hearing is that EJ's trying to take credit for something his wife made that's a success.
But then I see that van.
That's what I'm hearing.
I see the mailbox, Ace Hardware letters, and I'm like, that's EJ. There's no way that's his wife.
I see what you did there. Yeah, and normally it would be, but in this case it was not.
Was
It
he
not.
dressed as an old black man?
It would be
That's real.
It would be weird if EJ was doing that. I'd be like,
I think it's
I'd
one
be
of
like,
those.
knock that off.
I think he thinks he's helping. I think he thinks he's helping his wife, and it's like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go to Ace Hardware,
So,
buy a bunch of letters for 37 cents.
how many people were out at the Special Olympics?
So
thousands?
yeah, the opening ceremonies were at Exploria Stadium, and
Wow.
yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't sold out because it started at 8 a.m. on a Sunday, which I don't think anyone wanted to do.
Yeah,
but
those
there
type
were,
of things that you kind of it's just gonna be early. Sorry, that's what it is.
and it was aired on ABC
Yeah.
later that day. So there were about 5,500 athletes and coaches that were there representing all 50 states plus islands in the Caribbean. So
Oh, nice.
every major Caribbean island was there, including Haiti.
Right. Hence the reason
Yeah,
why
yeah.
we've had some people that don't want to go home.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Although they split California into Northern California and Southern California. I'm like, that's not fair. They just should be California.
Wow, California's pretty big.
Yeah,
I mean,
you listen, compete amongst yourselves. You don't get to split your state up.
does it have to do with funding? Do they have more funding?
I just think they
or-
probably have so many athletes that they
Yeah.
don't want to like hinder, certain athletes
That's
not being able
probably
to
what
compete.
it is. Yeah.
They should do that with Florida. I feel like South Florida completely should be a different state. Than
A lot
Central
of states
North
are sort of
Florida.
like that, right? Like, you go in upper, like I noticed in Georgia, upper
Texas,
Georgia,
yeah, yeah.
bottom Georgia is different.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, bottom of Georgia is like Jacksonville. The top of Georgia, I'm like, where
You're in
am
the
I?
mountains.
Everyone has a gun.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
people
Like
like,
North-
I'm like, what is happening?
like North Michigan is basically
Canada.
Yeah.
There's a lot of states like that where it's like you're close enough to Canada. Like everybody here is Canadian, basically. Anyway, what else you been up to, Kenny?
So there's a movie coming out. This isn't necessarily to do with me, but I thought of you, Tom, because I love you so much. But it's got Bryan Cranston. It's called Jerry and Marge Go Large.
I saw this.
Jerry
Yes,
and
yeah,
Marge
yeah.
go large. Is this about a scamming family?
Yes, it's about a scamming family who found a loophole in a lottery system. Because I know you love your lotteries and
And
how
he
it's-
loves a good loophole. Too.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, it's a true story, but they found that the odds for the lottery are obviously terrible. They're always going to be in the lottery's favor. But this certain game, if no one won the jackpot, the money would trickle down to like the 3 numbers, 4 numbers, 5 numbers. And if that happens enough, it actually makes it to where if you win 3 numbers, you're actually winning more than the odds of you winning that amount is. So let's say it would be like
Gotcha.
a 1 in 50 chance of you getting 3 numbers, but then if the money trickles down and you end up winning $100, well, then it's worth it now to play all 50 combinations of 3 numbers
Gotcha.
to try to win 100.
Gotcha. Yeah. So,
And so they found that, and then they made like hundreds of thousands of money off of it.
they found out a mathematical
Correct.
probability
Yeah.
that they weren't accounting in the original.
Mm-hmm.
This happens. I listen to a lot of gambling stuff, and especially when
Happens
like
with sweepstakes a lot too.
state governments or big corporations, they put together something without any like actuary or professional mathematician to tell them like, hey, there's a problem here with your
Yeah.
math. This is
Yeah.
not totally random, and thinking that no one's going to figure it out. But every once in a while, math genius or something is like, wait a minute, the odds are in my favor.
I'm
I got
impressed
positive
by
EV.
people that, like, even friends of mine that can do micro calculations that are just decent with math, that just do things in their brain. I'm always impressed by that.
This is how professional gamblers make their living, because they'll find, like, every once in a while, like different casinos will put on promotions, and it'll actually be a negative for them. But for the most part, the general public doesn't know, and they'll waste their money, and the promotion's just bringing them in. But professional gamblers will swoop in and take advantage of it, and then they'll try to, swap
Serious
them away.
gambling question for you and for Kenny, because I would imagine that the two of you gamble the most of anybody in this room.
I don't gamble.
Yeah, you and I don't. We just don't fit those play. Plus, I can't be trusted to gamble because A, I don't know what I'm doing, and don't give me any money. I don't know what to do with it. I just know how to spend it. Do you feel like through consuming, and I would say it probably ramped up the most during the height of the pandemic when you did have some free time, do you feel like that your hobby of gambling has made you at all better in math? Because I think it has.
Well, it made me understand what value is better and understand statistics or odds better. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, and I don't truly understand. I'm not that good at math, but
Better than most people, though. Better than me. Better than Sam.
I'm just learning what 52% really means, and like what that means. When you start looking into less than 48%, and you're like, wow, that's really bad. You start looking at what percentages actually mean in the real world and statistically what they mean. So then it helps you understand the value of other things in life.
Right.
It's just like, so you start looking at things as, what is their value here, and is this positive expected value or negative expected value?
Because I think that's beneficial. A lot of hobbies. So, before you, because again, you always like to make your hobby of gambling like a negative thing. I don't know, man. At least you get some sort of real world, like, math knowledge out of that. I mean,
well,
video games, I'm not sure I get much out of that other than just a peace of mind aspect.
Yeah,
or meditative
I think your
aspect.
dexterity is probably better. Your hand-eye coordination.
But calling it gambling is almost doing a disservice, because you're just understanding markets, really.
Right,
right. And that's what, like, this movie, I saw the trailer to this, and they're not even gambling at this point. There's a positive and expected value to what they put in.
No gamble.
Because the whole thing, they don't do it every week. They only do it when the situation calls for it, which, if no one wins and the money trickles down, that's the only time you do it.
Yeah, it's like counting cards in when you're playing blackjack. And therefore it's beyond gambling at that point. You are actually investing into the probability that you are going to win, and that's why they catch you so easily, because you have to double your bet down at a certain point when the card count gets right, and that's how they know you're doing it.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you are going to win more than they are at that point. You're changing the odds into your favor. So, but this, is this illegal, what they were doing?
That's what I was going to ask. Did they shut them down?
So, yes and no.
Not to spoil the movie, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a true story.
It's
It
based
already
off a
happened. They
true
did
story.
a 60-minute special about
Correct.
it.
And they were investigated, and not only were they investigated, but the Lottery Commission was investigated, because they thought, what if it's in cahoots and they're doing this? They didn't do anything illegal. They just took advantage of it. So I don't, I won't spoil the exact outcome of it, but yeah, they were investigated and all that stuff. But when you're talking about loopholes, it reminds me of they did the movie Punch Drunk Love with Adam Sandler, but the whole airline miles
the snack wells candy,
where it's like he found the individual pudding cups had
Snack
the
packs,
the UPC codes, and so all you had to do was just buy a bunch of pudding, rip off the UPC codes, and now he flies for free for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Now, there are tons of things that actually still happen to this day, that there are people that take advantage of it. We know a couple that are in groups, and there's these internet groups that are just dedicated Reddit boards of, like, basically like getting miles in a roundabout free way, And so it still happens because the giant corporations put out these promotions, and
hey, someone's using them. You know what I mean?
Well, they want the 99% of the people that are not taking full advantage of the whole thing. That's what's making their money, or but the people that know, like, hey, like,
it is weird though that there's almost like a negative connotation to people utilizing like a loophole or taking
they're taking advantage.
Sounds like it's bad, but it's like, well, they're just doing. It's nothing's illegal
It's
about
like those,
it. It's not a scam.
100%.
Those extreme couponers that sit there and it's like, listen, if
that's a lot of work.
If I buy 100 bottles of shampoo, they'll pay me $30.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, sorry, you took advantage. I mean, again, you're right. That's not the right term.
That has to do
but
with
you found it out.
I think that has to do with like maybe your own. I mean, that's on you and maybe the way you were raised and how you feel about certain things. You know, like I would put myself in that category if I look at those type of people and initially, even though it's bad, I'm just offering myself up as the example. I would look at them and be like, "Oh God, what are you doing?"
Well, this is not what it's intended for,
right?
But
you're taking advantage. Like I think that's what I would say. Even though, I mean, at the end of the day, when you really look at it, I mean, whatever.
Well, if it was a mom and pop shop that you're robbing
Right.
for thousands of dollars and they're going to go bankrupt because they didn't realize
There's a lot of rich people that use loopholes
Oh
and
my!
taxes.
No, I think they use them the most. I think they use them the most. I mean, that's
It's the
why
smartest
they're
thing to do.
A
Is
lot of
Is that the first time you have to old man buzzer yourself there, Sam?
Maybe. Nah,
you know what?
I've done some mom jokes
You're
lately.
gonna screw around and not get scheduled next month.
That's true.
You start messing around and start talking to Big Dog over here. She's gonna message you on
But
down the
No
road.
time next month.
but I also like it. I like it when you take advantage of credit card companies or casinos or online sports books because they take advantage of their customers.
They do.
That's what their business is.
They
Like
do.
credit card companies want people to spend a lot of money on their credit cards and then pay
Gain
them
interest,
an
yeah.
insane interest rate, which if they were completely moral, probably shouldn't have sent the credit cards to these particular people anyway, because they'll send it to people that they know can't afford to pay it because that's the best business for them.
Well,
they want
they want
that
you
huge,
involved. Yes,
and they want the balance sitting there where you can't pay
They
it
want it
off.
big, yeah.
And so you're paying, the whatever
So
the interest rate
have you
is.
heard that news story? You know how when they send you the credit card application, it's all the tiny print that lets you know like how terrible the APR is and all that stuff. This guy did that, but he used like Adobe Acrobat or whatever, changed the wording on the legal terms and basically said 0% interest. I don't have to pay you anything. In fact, if I spend X amount of money, you guys will actually have to pay it. Did all that, filled out the application, got the credit card, didn't pay it. They tried to take him to court, and he's like, "No, you guys agreed to the terms of agreement in this by giving me the credit
he
card."
like 360 them and got them on the back end to agree to his deal.
Because in their
oh my God, that's too. I don't have enough. Because I don't have enough mental power.
Because
in
their mind, they're like, "Oh, we scam the consumer with this tiny print, so clearly they're not going to read it, and they didn't read it either." But lo and behold, it worked in this guy's favor.
Back to the Bryan Cranston movie.
Yeah.
That
that's
story
my,
did not entertain Tom.
It's
No,
my
it
dream.
did. He's already moved on to how it can help him. He wants to be part of the scam.
It's been my dream to one day figure out one of these loopholes. I'm not smart enough to ever do it, so it's impossible.
That's true. This guy was like reading code for a majority of his life and had multiple degrees.
Yeah, he knows the statistics. He's a mathematician or whatever, so I'll never get there, can't understand it. But if I ever did, it's super exciting to me, like going around and like essentially stealing money from this lottery system and to my advantage, and knowing like that I'm the only one that knows. Although, and then sure in the movie, other people started to realize like because this
none of these things work for me. I couldn't even get the free drink package on the Tom and Dan cruise. It never happened. Remember when they like released the drink package for like $20?
$13. It was like $13.
Yeah.
I snagged it.
I mean, like I never, and those things never work in my favor because anytime anybody tips me off, or even if I find it, I'll opt in, I'll buy it. I bought a CD one time that was it was mislabeled on iTunes. I'll never forget. It was a Donovan Frankenreiter album. He's a pro surfer turned musician. And I bought his album, and it was like a $9.99 album that they had marked for 99 cents. I bought it, then started telling other people, oh my God, his new album's up for 99 cents, go buy it. Then later in the day, I get a charge for $8.99 from Apple getting the rest of their cut because they figured out what had happened. I never get any of the fun stuff. It never works for me.
So, Tom, with your propensity for not caring, but really caring what other people think. If one of these things required you to go to Publix and wipe them out of all of their lottery tickets, could you do that and go to Publix, just wiping them out of lottery
Not
tickets?
with the stigma of being a lottery ticket man.
No,
no.
You should have
Yeah,
saw
I
us
could.
when we were doing the BDM appreciation.
No, I don't think you could. I don't think you could go over there and buy them all. Now knowing that those teens, the sweeties over there, will now know you as
that's fine.
lottery scam man.
No, because no one would know what I'm doing, and in
But I
this-
know you. I from hearing you, I think you'd be like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm actually trying to do this." Like you'd over-explain it to
Yeah.
them.
no,
I'm a federal agent.
No, like awkward situations are only
This is
really
bait
awkward.
for scammers.
Like, if I had to return some egg salad, and then
Why is that? That is.
I wouldn't do that.
Like an actual thing. Like this
Yeah,
gave
yeah.
me diarrhea. Please
No,
take it.
see that I would never go and return anything to the customer service desk or whatever. But if it's just a transaction, like when we bought a whole bunch of scratch-off tickets at the Publix across the street for
Yeah.
our appreciation,
It was embarrassing though, dude. We
Not
bought a
gonna-
brick.
yeah, but that to me is just like I'm buying this from you from Publix. They're benefiting. There's just a business
But you know the
transaction.
reason you're doing it is for a business transaction. I'm talking about if you were doing it to try to game the system and make money.
That girl that rang us up for the lottery tickets looked at us like we were buying all of the raffle prizes for a pawn shop we own. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
having
yeah.
a pawn shop Christmas party. That's what it looked like. Pawn shop Christmas party.
That doesn't bother me because it's like I'm, just doing a transaction, and I'm looking at it like the person I'm screwing over is the government, which I don't mind screwing over the government or a giant corporation or whatever. I look at it like that's fine. They get enough money. No one's really losing here. I guess you could say that the other people that bought tickets, you are taking away their chances to win.
Yeah.
Technically. But I look at it like they bought it, they shouldn't even been buying it in the first place. Like all these lotteries are ridiculous. You're just taking money from poor people.
It's like the dude that buys all the concert tickets when everyone's lined up behind him.
yeah, big,
Yeah.
like those giant stub hubs and like
I'm
they
surprised
do that,
that's
right?
still a thing. Yeah, I'm surprised that's even allowed.
They buy up giant blocks of tickets, and then normal people can't buy them. Then you have to buy them from the secondary market, right? That's kind of essy. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I know we got to wrap up, but just legally, they have to sell a certain percentage at the box office, only a certain percentage online, a certain percentage for pre-sale. So in that way, they can say, well, technically, an average person could have been able to get it, but. You're right. StubHub ends up buying a majority of them.
Oh,
and
yeah. Tons of them.
And the people that can get it, they're sold out in a second anyway.
Yeah. And what are you going to do? Who are you going to talk? It's not like you have any recourse to talk to
No.
anybody about that. You're not going to get a human, certainly.
Yeah,
And if you
yeah.
fire off an email, it'll take 5 days for somebody to get back to you about it. And by then, ship's already sailed. You don't care anymore.
Mr. Bieber, I didn't get tickets to your concert.
Oh, man, that poor guy. His face is
Oh, yeah.
paralyzed. What do you think? Did you hear about that over the weekend?
Yeah, I saw but it's kind of like what is it called?
Bell's palsy?
Bell's palsy. Like
Yeah.
that thing happens every once in a while.
We had an
like, it
intern
goes away.
whose now husband, boyfriend at the time, she came in one day all in tears. And she's like, my boyfriend's face is frozen.
It's weird
It
because
was
they still
so
haven't figured out.
scary.
They still haven't figured out exactly all the causes of Bell's palsy, and some of it is like still a mystery, which is odd.
Yeah.
In 2022, that there's like just mysteries out there.
Every time I drink a Bell's Two Hearted, every
Weird.
time I drink
Wait,
a
no?
Bell's Two Hearted, the beer, I think of Bell's palsy.
Like this person,
Every single time.
half his face is paralyzed, and you're like, I don't know. Like it's weird, right?
no way to know.
And
You have
when
nothing?
will it fix itself? It might, it may not.
Yeah. Most of it does, though, right?
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like most people don't get long term.
I think you just get used to it, and it becomes your new face,
that.
right?
Jim Ross, the WWE commentator.
Oh, he had Bell's palsy?
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
I always
that's-
thought he had
Was that from
something.
a
I
stroke?
thought he had a stroke.
Yeah, I thought he had a stroke.
Oh,
Oh, I hope
I'm,
you're
I'm,
wrong.
I'm
You're
EJing
wrong.
the situation.
Get him.
But that could be another cause.
I'm EJing the situation here.
Yeah, you
Kenny,
really are.
Where can people contact you? I don't know. I don't know what you want. I don't know what
Why
you
are
want.
What
you
from
do
me.
you
here?
want? What do you want? Where can people buy your lottery
I'm
tickets?
surprised you
hanging
didn't
out?
ask me about drone racing.
No. I'm done with that.
Now forever, you're Special Olympics Kenny now. From now on, there will be no change.
I'll just ask you about
Yeah,
Special
until
Olympics
the
every
next
day.
year when you like, well, I did the boat show, and then I'm like, all right, well done. Now he's boat show Kenny.
Ooh, write this down. Special Olympics drone racing category.
Oh, they had esports. They went out to Full Sail and they did Rocket League. That was one of the events.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, that was really
So
cool.
they included that too.
Yeah, and it used their
man.
facilities and their studios, and it was amazing.
Those are really nice.
Full
too.
Sail does it right when it comes to esports.
Before we leave, I just want to say Kenny was right. He does have Bell's palsy, and he does live with it forever. Like most people do
Get
recover,
better,
and
yeah.
he did not.
Oh my
Really?
god!
Wow.
Take that, EJ.
I have
So then-
Taco Bell's palsy. Where
I'll be like, whoa, why is this a mystery?
yeah,
Like,
but how do you? Okay, hold on. There's either Bell's palsy or there's permanent Bell's palsy, right?
yeah.
There shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that he has the same one as the person like our intern whose husband eventually grew out of it. Like it went away.
Yeah, 2 weeks. My pop-up had it one time. He got some
No, our
virus
intern.
or-
I think he had it for like 9 months. It was
Yeah,
scary.
it happens on his last
it was
a long time.
scary. And then one day he just woke up and it was gone. Like if I woke up and I had Bell's palsy and 9 months later I wake up and it's gone, I'm gonna run outside. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna start believing in God. I like literally like thank you. Like I would literally lose my
Can
mind.
Bieber still sing?
He can, but it sounds like I got my penis out and done. It's like weird.
No,
It's like,
it's just half his lips,
Yeah.
right? He could sing. I seen a lady sing through her teeth. Anyway,
wait, that's how Kanye did to The Wire. Yeah. I took a breakfast and intro for dessert. Somebody running pancakes. I just sipped the scissor.
Kenny@gmail.com.
Kenny at Gmail. Yeah. Kenny Gmail. Kenny G at gmail.com. Go try that.
He probably wants people to go to 2moves.
Oh,
True
yeah, that's the
moves.
thing.
Oh my
TOOMOOFS.
T-O-O-O-O-O-B. That sounds like
Yeah. Check out Kenny's podcast, 2 Moves.
Yeah, still don't know what it means. We'll never know what it means.
Thanks, Kenny. Welcome back to a corporate time. There it is.
Oh no!
All right,
We
there we
kept
go.
Kenny around for one more segment. The feud continues.
You see how? Oh, there's that. Yeah, we could change that picture.
Yeah, we'll just have to switch the picture.
You know, I
out.
gotta tell when we do our video editing next time, make it generic.
Yeah.
You know, this is what radio stations
We
do.
can
They-
swap them out.
Yeah, don't mention the person's name or picture or anything.
Just give me a frame. I'll add the photos depending on who's here.
Yeah.
I don't know the personnel yet.
You know, I watched Iron Man 2 over the weekend.
Oh,
that ties
now
into
once
them.
you get to 3, it goes off the. Iron Man 3 is arguably where. Okay,
I don't think I
I've
ever
never
saw
said
it.
this before. Iron Man 3 is the sole reason I don't like Marvel movies. Because
got to
Iron
the
Man
root of
3
it.
isn't Iron Man 3 the one where old melted spam face has the whippy arms?
That's
No,
two.
that's two.
That's
That's
two.
the one I
then
watched.
two was the
okay.
one that,
Yeah.
that's how long my hatred goes back. When old melted spam got his whippy arms.
Yeah.
And
he has a bad
they're at
Russian
the-
accent.
Yeah, and they're at the speedway or whatever, and he's whipping. Like I was like, I'm out of here. This is terrible.
Well, speaking
Iron Man 1 though is a masterpiece.
Iron Man 1's brilliant.
It's a great movie.
Well, I forgot that they changed out his friend's character, like the actor.
It was Terrence Howard. And
And then it
now,
went to Don Cheadle,
yep.
right?
Oh, you're right.
But I watched them too close together.
Howard for Cheadle.
So when Don Cheadle walks in, I'm like, that's not your friend. Like,
Who's this guy?
yeah.
I like you're that invested now.
I like your
Well, I'm not-
why is Black Captain Planet here?
I'm not even that invested. It's just
Don Cheadle's too serious for this. You got to go to Hotel Rwanda, right? That's what he was in, right?
well,
Yeah.
in the natural time
Too
period.
serious to be in there.
It was further away, so like most of the audience like probably accepted it because it's like years in between.
And I
Iron
wanted
Man
more
but
with-
I watched it within 1 week apart, so I was like, "This is."
And you know another thing that ruined
stupid.
it for me? If I'm just being honest, the fact that there was no nudity with Pepper Potts.
Yeah. It would. I would have enjoyed some pops.
Yeah. Let me see them pots.
If I'm channeling my inner EJ, this is when I would go on a 5-minute rant about how in the comics she's nude, but then she has this mystical power when she's nude that takes her to a multiverse and
yeah, exactly. See, he
just
knows.
a bunch of nonsense.
He knows how to do it. So what happened? So what did the boys think of old whippy arms in Iron Man 2?
The Marvel movies back when they made these were too slow.
slow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my sons start getting out of it when the dialogue in the middle, like they start drifting away and they become disinterested. And
Yeah.
like I'm waiting for the ADD society to start affecting movies, and then when things were nonstop, never stop.
When was the first nonstop never stop?
I feel like when social media really became popular, we became real ADD. Like 2013. 2016.
Maybe I should start watching these with you guys to see if I can convert myself. It'd be almost like, okay, follow me with this. It's almost like when you have a scientist and he's like engineering some sort of like great cure or something. He's like, oh, well, I'm the scientist. I'll test this on myself. You know, all those movies where the guy ends up turning into a fly or some sort of monster or a werewolf. He's always testing the stuff on himself first, right? So,
Dr. Strange, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's very odd for me to go on here and I flap my gums and I get a lot of hate from saying how much I hate these Marvel movies. Well, I should, just like the Doctor in any of these movies, I should test out these movies on myself. Instead of just hating on them, I should follow along with what you're doing with your sons and watch these movies.
Go over for Friday night movie night with them.
No,
Well, you hate movies,
He won't
and
want me to do that.
Maisie's you. She hates movies.
She hates movies.
Well,
She can't sit still for long enough. If we we started watching, she's like, Daddy, you want to watch a movie? I was like, yeah. What haven't you seen at school? Because they put on movies, notoriously they put on movies, you know, at the end of the day or whatever. And she's like, Turning Red or Being Red or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that movie's about your period or something, right? And I'm like, well, I don't want to watch that.
Have you
Oh,
seen?
it's so good.
But then we started it. I mean, not even 15 minutes into the period Turned Red movie about like some kid that turns into a bear. My daughter's over there dragging her flipping mat out and putting it in the living room so she can do flips. I'm like, no. We're watching a movie. And if we're watching a movie, you can't flip, right? You would have the same rule in your house. No flipping allowed when you're moving.
Yeah. My sons, they're lazy. They just they'll sit there.
Sack of potatoes.
I paused it. I think we're on minute 23 of Being Red or whatever it is because she couldn't handle it. 23 minutes in, she's like, I got to flip.
A perfect 8AD movie, but the thing is, though, it's meant for us, not for kids, is the new Chippendales movie.
So
Yeah, I heard it's really good.
It's really good because it's just like reference after reference
I'm going to watch it with
reference.
Andrea, not with Maisie.
And here's the thing, because it's Andy Samberg, so it's a lot of like nonsense humor that, again, kids aren't going to be like, oh, why is that funny? But then us as adults be like, yeah, it's Andy Samberg's humor.
Yeah, I'll watch it with my wife, but Maisie's not going to watch it.
So, Kenny, what do you want to talk about? The Lightning?
Yeah, so the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals,
Hey.
they beat the Rangers.
Kind of unheard of, right? The fact that
3 in a row. For a team in Florida, which is incredible. Steven Stamkos is amazing.
Yes, Stamkos is what a great captain to have. I also found it ironic and odd, again, that they're now. I know that Canadian Josh is going to argue that most of our players are Canadian, and I can't disagree with that.
Yeah. They're not. None of them are from Florida.
Floridians, no. But it is odd that there's no like Toronto. There's no,
Well, a Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup since like 1990 or something like absurdly long ago.
It's got to just sit poorly with them that a team from Tampa is in the finals again, and looking pretty good. It's looking like it could go our way. Avalanche, right?
Against Colorado.
Good team.
Now, technically, the reality is all
It's
the
Russians
players are
and Canada,
born.
Yeah.
Like they live here, and no state tax.
Couple of Swedes.
I mean, if you look at it, it's
over
the reason why the Miami Heat are always good, because free agents would rather play in Miami than Milwaukee.
Yeah. And but it is impressive because the NHL is super competitive, obviously, and like all professional sports franchises are at this point. And so for them to make it 3 years in a row is impressive for anybody.
Yeah. And they were there
sport.
about 5 or 6 years ago in the Stanley Cup Finals as well. They ended up losing that one, but they've been perpetually amazing. But we were talking about before the segment that up in New York at Madison Square Garden, Tampa Bay won Game 5. And a dude in a Lightning jersey, talking smack with a Rangers fan, of course, it's just when you go to a sporting event, you're going to get heated, you're going to get mad, but the Rangers fan took it way over the edge and just turned around and sucker punched the dude. One punch knocked out, and the guy just fell flat on the ground.
There's a
on the
lot of
concrete.
these, it seems to be it's not a new thing. It's just because we all have cameras and we're videoing it. But you see a lot more videos of sucker punches.
Yeah.
Now, I saw one the other day where it was just this is the one that really, I saw the one that you're talking about where it was fan-on-fan violence, and the guy instantly just crumpled, and he's like a heap on the ground.
Yeah.
You could die. You can kill somebody doing that.
It's also not
over a
fair,
goddamn sports game.
It's not a fair representation of your physical skill or
it's not.
how tough you are, because a lot of people can knock someone out if the other person isn't expecting it.
Yep.
And it's actually not that hard. And most even with if you know anything about punching whatsoever, you hit them in the chin, you're gonna probably knock them out. Like, it doesn't take much. Look at what Seth against Kimbo Slice, that punch that knocked Kimbo Slice out. It looked barely anything. It wasn't this huge haymaker punch.
It was a precision punch.
It was a jab to the chin, which can basically, turn your brain off for the couple seconds to fall, and that's all it is. So it's like, when I do hate it, because it's like, all right, you punch someone, it doesn't show you're a badass. It shows almost that you're a P word, because you're not it's not a fair fight. Let him put up his guard. If you're going to, like, if you were going to physical violence, then make it a fair fight if you think you're that tough, because you just punching someone and knocking them out, it means you're a P word.
I hate it. I hate those videos, and it seemed not to dovetail into this, but there was one over the weekend. It actually had a good ending to it. I was watching this, like random videos will just pop up, and this one was like, you see this dude kind of like stutter stepping out of a convenience store. He can't walk well. And the guy doing the VO, the voiceover for it, basically goes on to say that the person walking out of the store had muscular dystrophy. Like he obviously had some sort of issue that turned his legs in. So he's kind of stutter stepping out to his car. And then this guy just walks up to him and like just sucker punches him, and the guy falls down. And he starts like mocking him for the way he was like walking and stuff like that. Like, it's disgusting. It like makes me want to throw up when you see stuff like that. Now, the cool thing about this one was it just showed how tough the guy with the disabled guy was, because he instantly got up, and then everybody like came to his aid, and he didn't get knocked out. And the guy that hit him looks up and sees the camera and is like, oh no. Mm-hmm. And yeah, of course they found him and put him into jail, and arrested him. But it's just like, it seems like the sucker punch is a thing that people are like into it now. It's like a thing now.
Well, because every once in a while you're going to get the twisted tea dude, where the guy's like spouting a bunch of racism, and this guy holding a twisted tea can, just like one punch knocks him out, and everyone cheers that, because as he should, he was a hero, and it looks great. So everyone thinks, oh yeah, these one punch knockouts are hilarious.
I do, and I agree with like, oh, that guy deserved it, but as an adult. And, if you shouldn't be knocking someone out, no matter what, because he's using words at the end of the day. Like, yeah, I understand if he's threatening violence to you, or if he's trying to hit you, go ahead and knock him out. But words, in my opinion, shouldn't lead to, potentially killing someone, because you could. I mean, lots of people, like, you knock them out, that's the first traumatic brain injury, and then when their head ricochets off the ground, that's what kills them. Yeah. And it happens with sports. It's like, and not even a friend of a friend, Logic Man Andy knew this guy in high school that knocked someone out and lunch break, and then his head hit a curb, and the guy died, and he went to jail. He was like 17 at the time, and he had to do like 5 years in jail. Otherwise, good guy who was going to go to college, and then spent like X amount of years in prison for the first, when he was 18 years old. And really, imagine, he not only killed someone that didn't deserve it, but then you've ruined, or at least hindered your life significantly, all over a stupid punch, all over what? Something that made you mad?
Well, it's supposed to be something that's fun.
And in this instance, it's, the guy didn't even do anything. He was just cheering for the team that won. The people on the ice, they lost. You should be mad at them. Or be mad at the players.
Yeah.
Why are you mad at this fan?
Inject some knowledge into something that's just...
I do not understand the emotional attachment to sports.
Oh, people, man,
I enjoy watching them. It's fun, but it's like, I'm not going to get so mad that my team lost that I'm going to physically attack somebody.
Like,
ever.
I'll admit.
Well,
I was
probably talking ass the whole game back and forth. And he
that's
took
part of it.
Yeah.
No,
I know. Well, no, 100%. But I'm just saying, it wasn't just a random dude. He's like, oh, my team lost. This guy's I mean, those guys were talking crap to each other.
I don't know. We don't know that, though.
Well,
they were just leaving the game.
So they were leaving the game. You see that they're kind of jawing at each other. I don't know if it was like long standing, or maybe he might have just said one thing to him at the end.
Yeah. And you lose your temper and you punch someone in the face. That's on you. Like, what are you doing? You're being an adult.
Well, and he's probably been drinking the entire time and everything like that.
I always worry that that's going to be the end game for a lot of these things, where it's like, you're going to end up getting your fun taken away.
Too much money. They'll never stop.
I know,
the
but
the Bud Light. Too
but
much
I don't
money.
see anybody doing anything. It's like you're not going to get some dumb old ladies. They're like ushers. You're going to have to up your usher, pay them a little bit better, so you don't have to get a volunteer who's 75 years old at a hockey game.
That ain't stopping anything. I mean, these people start fights. I mean, the cops will eventually come, but they're already punching each other, knocking each other out before the cops get there. Although harsher penalties, like banning these people for life, which I'm sure they already did.
He's banned. He's banned for life.
But also, criminal charges and stuff. And although it's been shown statistically that no matter what the penalty is, that doesn't stop the behavior. It's because it's kind of like suicide and stuff. It's like it's a split second. People lose their temper and they flip the switch and then they instantly go to violence. They're drunk. And it's like no matter, even if they watch the guy go to jail for years and ruin his life the week before and telling his wife like, this guy's an idiot, he ruined his life over a stupid game. And then he's doing it the next week because he's drunk. And people lose their brain shuts off of logical thinking when they have an anger attack. I mean, Daniel has anger attacks. He knows
you get to a point where you can't even talk. It's amazing, you'll just shut your brain off.
When I worked at the arena, we had a UFC event going on there, and there were more fights in the stands that were on the card in the main event.
Yeah.
Like more people in the stands because you get that aggression. You've been drinking, I mean, and not to disparage any MMA fans, but, UFC fans have the, tight shirts trying to show off their muscles, trying to impress ladies that are there.
Yeah.
And they'll just try to,
you're
front
one of
each
those
other.
guys, right? You love the
That
tight
makes me
shirts.
not want to go.
And
I like watching UFC, but that makes me not want to. I don't want to get in a fight with somebody.
Well, you probably wouldn't, but
well, you don't know because people are crazy and they get drunk.
You could avoid it.
Let me say this: you wouldn't, but whistling toothpicks is going to get
that's
picked
what I'm
on.
saying. Then I'm gonna have to fight somebody from a man, and then I'm going to jail.
Well, that's the thing, though.
I don't want my wife doing any of that. I'm glad Andrea keeps her mouth shut. I don't need anybody helping me be more of an ass. I don't need that.
But the thing is, in all these fights that I've seen, I'm sure it's not all this way, but the vast majority, even you see the videos of it, you see the people yelling at each other, and there's always a point where I think to myself, one of these people could have walked away.
They never do, though.
It's never a person minding their business and some guy comes up to them and just starts beating them up for no reason. It's people arguing the whole game.
You had a choice.
So it's now the other person doesn't deserve to get knocked out or whatever, but it wasn't a totally person minding their own business, right? It
wasn't the basketball hits Granny in the face and knocks her glass.
Yeah, it was like Granny got hit with the basketball, stood up, walked over, and escalated.
But I understand though, where it's like if I say this all the time in movie theaters, Crystal's like this guy won't shut up, tell him to shut up, and then I think to myself, I will tell the person to shut up, but if they tell me
confrontation,
if they tell me to
fight me now, you're like, I will not.
Well, no, if they tell me to F you, then I may respond back with another something, and then it's going to escalate.
Well, you have because to decide not to escalate it, right?
But at that point, I may be so mad that I'm like, well, screw it. You just tell me to F off.
I've only done that one time, and it's so embarrassing.
So I'm like, things escalate, and the guy stands up, and now I'm like, well, I got to stand up because I can't just back away because then I'm not going to do. So
I did that at a Carrabba's. I did that at a Carrabba's. It's like, I am not proud of this, but it was when my dad. It was when my mom and dad were still alive, and we'd gone to Carrabba's, Andrea, the whole group, and a guy was sitting down. Oh no, okay. I was sitting down with my mom and my dad, and then you're sitting waiting to go in, and I had a seat, and then I got up to let a lady sit down. I mean, it's the way I was raised. Yeah, I got up and I'm like, oh, would you like this to sit down? And then as I stood up, a guy from the thing, he jumped in there and took the spot, right? Mm-hmm. And I was giving it to a lady, an older woman, like a lady in their party. And then I said, no, that wasn't for you. That was for a lady. And he's like, no, it's seat's a seat. I'm taking the seat. And then we continued to have words, and I did the dumb old man thing. And I was younger than I am now. And I was like, if you want to continue this discussion, we can step outside and talk about this. And I immediately
take
felt
it outside.
Immediately felt like such a turd.
That's also not a thing that people do anymore. They keep it inside. They all fight in restaurants now. It's like, take it outside.
No, I said, let's take it outside. He said, no. We argued a little more. It was embarrassing. The whole thing was just embarrassing.
And I think that because a sucker punch, which they see, is easier than the fight.
For sure, yeah.
Because if you take it outside, then you both square up, and then now you're in a...
What happened to the gentleman? Let's take it outside.
Well, because that was an old school, let's make this fight fair.
The way I was raised is you take it outside.
Yeah, if you were going to fight about it, let's both be in the fight with, doing some bare knuckle boxing, I guess, in the parking lot of Chili's. But, if you're sitting there...
It was a caraba, sir.
And then you...
A little fancier.
And then you sucker punch someone, that's going to end the fight quickly. But again, you are a P word for sucker punching this person because you're not tough at all. You are actually the weaker one because you're sucker punching someone.
You're exactly right.
Yep. Because if you go outside of the Chili's parking lot, you guys are going to be rolling around, huffing and puffing, pulling each other's hair because you don't know how to fight.
Calm down, bro.
Yeah. You're going to be trying to choke each other. You don't know jujitsu, so you're just going to be pulling each other.
Tiny little patch.
Your fat is hanging out. It's embarrassing. Your wives are going to be screaming.
Your belly
can't take
comes
it anymore.
out the bottom of your shirt, guaranteed. And then you have to use the grass that's to the side, and there's not a lot of it. And then you're using grass and mulch and some of the like novelty flowers that they have there, right?
Yeah.
And you're rolling over into
then you hit a sprinkler head.
Yeah.
You're like, right in my shank.
Right in my...
And you're winded in 38 seconds to the point where you can't even breathe. And
then you do that move where you're both just holding each other and you're like, okay, bro. You done? And then he's like, you're done. And then you're like, you got his arm.
And your girlfriends are screaming at you.
Oh, Andrea's still inside. Andrea's inside having a pollo rosmaria or whatever that. She's eating a chicken and capers.
Dan Lee, you're ruining my chicken carbonara.
No, my dad supported me taking him outside. That's the thing about my dad with the temper. He'd be like, oh, I raised him well. Take him outside. Whip his ass, Dan Lee.
As he's eating his shrimp scampi.
No, he didn't like shrimp. Are you crazy? My father only ate American fish. Standard fish. What kind of fish? Nope, it's just fish. American fish.
ksamsel@yahoo.com.
Wow.
I'll figure it out one day.
Why Yahoo?
I don't know.
Why not?
KennyS@AOL.org.
It's DJKSamsel@hotmail.org.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to a Corporate Time. Let's get hot and drink beer.
Hot beer. Well, it's not hot beer. It's cold beer. Hot boys.
There's a lot of condensation because it's hot in here.
We got one girl. We're just hot boys with one girl drinking beer.
Wait a minute. I don't like this.
Sweaty boys with beer.
Hourglass Brewing is here. How you guys doing?
Hey.
Pretty good.
And we have dad jokes in front of us.
Yeah, we do
we
indeed.
do.
They're live on the Ouch Couch, ready to bring us the loveliest of dad jokes beer.
Our beer release is this Saturday from 11 to 2 p.m.
Yes.
We start selling beer around noon.
Beer.
So you can get there early, get some merch. Eric's going to be out there with Dad Jokes merch. And we got Tom and Dan merch. It's the day before Father's Day, so you can come out and get some Dad Jokes beer, some Tom and Dan merch,
And
hang
all
out with the whole show.
They have a plethora of lovely beers that you can get there. So Dad Jokes will be the one. Obviously, that's the lady of the day. But there are other flavors that you can pick up. And all kinds of lovely beers. Hey, guys, thanks for being here today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
We've got Brett. We've got Joe.
And now you did mention that
I'm blanking on the last
Shane.
name. Shane, thank
Yeah.
you.
Hey,
I
you already
did it.
messed up.
I screwed it up.
Hold on, you came in before
Marijuana.
the show.
It's marijuana.
And then you're like,
It's marijuana.
Is
Brett.
it the heat getting to you?
Joe, Shane, and everyone's like, yeah.
Look, I'm not going
And
to...
then what was the point of that if we do the show and you're like,
The
I
point
don't
of that
know
was
now.
to show you that at that moment, I had all the names. But at this moment, no names. Only two. I had Joe, I had Brett. I was blanking on the Shane.
So you mentioned Dad Jokes is in distribution. Should we announce where? We want people to come out to Hourglass on Saturday
Yeah,
and
for sure,
pick it
for
up.
sure. There's been a couple accounts that have picked it up so far, but probably by the time the show's out, it might actually be sold out through distribution. But if you are a bar or restaurant, you want to check it out, and you have an account with Progressive Distribution, hit up your local sales rep. You can hit me up, Shane@hourglassbrewing.com, and we can try and set some aside for you. But it is moving quickly through distribution. We've pretty much sold out of cans.
So corporate of you.
So tell me about dad jokes. When did it get finished? This is going to be the first time we've ever tried it.
Yeah, never tasted it.
And it's the first time we've seen the cans. Besides from
because it's been in our car for about an hour, and then we
yeah.
and it's hot.
It's hot in here. It was
yeah.
hot in the car. A little cooler in here. It's about 94 in here.
It'd make it worse if we opened the windows, right?
Yeah, opening the windows is a bad idea. Yeah.
All the pollen comes in.
Also, I brought my bees with me today, and they're all outside, and they're crazy bees.
So when did this get finished? When did it get canned?
We canned it, Brett and I with Matt, our head brewer. We had that done last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Write down Matt. That's just one more name. Write down Matt. Shane, Matt, Joe, Brett.
So literally got put in the cans last Wednesday, and we're gonna try it out for the first time. It's a golden ale. So what does that exactly mean in beer terms?
Golden Ale is a pretty kind of like broad spectrum style. It's kind of, I mean, there's some like color like parameters that it needs to fall in between. They can be a little more malt forward. They can be a little more hop forward. So there's a lot of play in it. Really excited to taste this one because I don't know if you guys have, but I actually haven't tasted this one either. So we're gonna get actual reactions live.
I know this isn't the best for like selling the beer, but in our world of Humorland, it would be nice. It would be. Okay, hold on.
There's some
it's
comedy.
not nice. I'm not going to say it's nice, but there is a silver lining to you taking a sip, and then diarrhea or like something.
There's
like
comedy and tragedy.
Yeah, there is because like I so want this to go well because we're linked to it. We love you guys. You guys make quality beer. You're celebrating. It's like 10 years, right? We're coming up on the 10-year anniversary. Sam and I didn't even know that.
I know.
We were like, holy crap. We started looking at all the can art. By the way, whoever's spearheading the kind of the remember when, really well done. I'm enjoying the hell out of that. But there is something beautiful about like we taste it, then we all have to be like, don't look at the camera. Put the glass down. No, but it's not going to happen. Let's do it. Why?
We can be bad at business too. It's okay if that
Let's
happens.
do it. Let's jump
This is
into
the
the
dad
beer.
joke cans, right? That we have the vomit in.
Yeah, the vomit beers.
A little bit of pee-pee.
You guys tasted first.
That was the original. You know what? I've always had good luck with trying beers. I don't think I've ever had like somebody hand me a handcrafted beer. I'm serious.
Yeah.
That are my friends or the breweries around town. I've never been to a local brewery and had them hand me something and be like, oh my God, this is undrinkable. That's just not going to happen. Now, it's happened with big breweries where I've had a skunky beer that somebody handed me some old beer that's like 9 years old. It's got dust all over it.
Well, I'm guessing the head brewer does the deal where they open up the giant vat, and then they taste they taste a little bit. Like, there's some sort of
No. Skip all that.
Just
package it. No idea.
We're gonna let them try it live on the air.
Okay. Here we go. We got our beers. I'm gonna grab some here. Let me show. All right, get the cans so we can show that this is Dad Jokes Golden Ale, Hourglass Brewery. Again, this Saturday, you come and grab some beers.
Yep.
Get the beers with us. All right.
Yeah, the whole show will be
you're
out
actually
there.
coming?
I think Seth is coming.
A lot of people are.
Seth is coming.
Yes.
I thought he had a class to teach in the morning.
Well, he's
those are
coming
all
after.
lies. All lies.
He said he can't wait for people to.
It's that Hourglass.
Treat him like he's famous.
Yeah, he wants.
That's all he does it for.
Exactly. He wants everybody to genuflect and tell him how great
it
he
smells
is.
delicious.
All right, you go ahead, buddy.
Okay, here we go.
Get in there.
We hadn't told you guys either. I'm going to be doing some live entertainment. I'm going to be skydiving down to the brewery and then jumping a couple tanks on a one wheel.
Get him.
I know you're making fun of me, sir.
That's delicious.
That is really good.
That's good for everybody. I can say that for any of you
it's
guys.
refreshing.
Yeah, it's a refreshing. It's just a damn fine beer.
It's because it's like 95 degrees in here. That's why it's refreshing.
That's also true. That's also
you're making
true.
it hot.
You should turn the air off at the brewery on Saturday. It'll go great.
Just like the studio.
Yeah, American Air is coming today.
The most embarrassing part about this is that our air is fine. We just didn't pay our power bill. I've been running all of this off a Generac.
Yeah.
We have a Generac out back, the one they use for like hurricanes and stuff.
This is delicious.
It is delicious.
It's good. Super crisp, light, little malt character on it. But come try it for yourself on Saturday.
I feel like people that enjoy beer are going to like this.
You know
what I'm saying?
found-
That's why we kind of settled on Golden Ale, because if you do an IPA, not everybody loves IPAs, and the people that do love them, but sometimes it's too much for other people.
My flavor, what I like has changed. Like the little bit of maltiness on this, and the fact that it's just so easy.
Yep.
Very
is
balanced.
good. But when I was a younger and earlier craft beerman, I did not like any maltiness at all. I wanted hop juice.
I honestly thought that you picked a golden ale because it was a pee joke.
No, we didn't. I think
we're not animals.
I think I like that we carry that reputation. We thought you guys picked this because you're obsessed with urine.
We thought everything you did was a joke. With your lives.
Air T&D.
Yeah, we thought everything you
business.
guys. I mean, you have no air
seems like it.
conditioning in your studio. I'm roasting alive here. Your whole life is a joke.
Now we did talk about
That's damn good.
the first 100 people there that buy dad jokes is going to get BDM pen that we had custom made.
Yep.
And we talked about, like, we've done it in the past where we limited the amount you could buy so that no one leaves empty-handed.
No, I like it where you can buy as much as you want and you can show it to people that don't get it. And you're I like a free-for-all.
Selling it outside the door. You're like,
Yeah.
I say no limit, and we'll just put it out to be cool. Like, don't buy 24 packs, or 20.
What about 23?
that's okay.
Just
20.
buy
20's
some
fine.
for, like, if you're gonna get some for gifts, that's fine. But if you're buying like 100 4-packs, like, leave some for the people behind you.
See, I think I take a different. I think I say buy what you want. Buy it all. If one guy you pull up in a Lamborghini and
Be
you're
the
like,
StubHub.
yeah, and you're like, give me all the beer. I don't think Hourglass is gonna be like, whoa.
But
I own all this, but I have to get a trailer for it to,
Yeah.
to pick up.
But Hourglass made enough where I think we're good, and I think everybody will be able to pick some up.
And they have a lot of other lovely beers. Like, what is this one here? Not to go tour around the world, but what is this beer right here?
That's
let's do
a
it.
peach pomegranate sour aesthetics. It's one of our offerings also in
Peach
distribution.
pomegranate
Yeah.
sour.
Yeah,
man.
It's fantastic.
Well, can I try that one too?
Yeah,
No, we
absolutely.
don't.
Yeah.
open
Let's
that
try
up.
that one.
So
Pop one open.
Yeah, let's
you know
do
what?
it.
Last time we had a meeting at Hourglass, we sat at Sour Glass, and let's talk
You've been
about
wanting
Sour
to talk
Glass
about
too,
this, yeah.
because it's a great. We're gonna do some sort of private event there because it's a perfect location to to do a small get together. But when did you start Sour Glass? Like, what's the concept? People can obviously just go to Sour Glass too. Is it basically all sours, or?
So what we use it's mostly production and private event space.
Okay.
We will open it up regularly for big events when we need overflow, because believe it or not, that tap room gets really full sometimes and we need more space.
Which is crazy because you guys have how many square foot is it again?
Oh my gosh, the tap room alone. I mean, our seating capacity is 240.
You guys
so-
have air conditioning there, right?
We do.
Unlike
You
us.
need AC.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just something's reminding me that you guys should definitely have air conditioning in the...
I'll look into that.
How can it get this hot this quickly?
It's the machines
Well,
in
there's
here or
also
something.
a
The
lot
light.
of guys in here.
Yeah, there's a light.
And we're
in my
drinking
face.
beer. And we're talking.
I'm a half guy.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
consider myself a half man.
We got
I'm
4.5
very
men.
Yeah.
4.5 men. Winning. Sorry, did
he
anybody
been
pick
up
up on
to?
that? No, I'm trying this. Oh my God, I'm spilling the beer.
And at the event on Saturday, there's food. Let's talk about the food available.
So we got Waco Taco right next door. We've got Papa B's as well, and then we got Cholo Dogs coming out helping out as well.
Yeah,
So
we
we've
know.
got,
And you and I used to work. We knew Jordan from Cholo Dogs.
Yeah,
we knew
yeah,
him when he
been
was
on the show.
Yeah, when he was a brunch bro.
Yeah.
That's how young he was. A young brunch bro with John Rollins doing shows. That's how old we are. These guys have already moved on to new and better concepts.
When he was a full human being of you or 4 human beings of you?
He would be 4 now. I feel like
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean that disrespect. I just like
I love you, Jordan.
We all change,
Yeah, and then
and you started that. Just for the record.
It seems like we had him on the show like a year and a half
Yes.
ago. It was like 4.5 years
It
ago.
was- it was
like he
four-
could have
it was like 5
graduated
years
college.
ago. It's
Yeah.
when we we just started in
5
this
years.
space. Yeah.
No, I know. It's like I could have gone to college and got my master's if I worked harder. You know, it's crazy.
I like that you put that in there because like I didn't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all.
So we're telling
agree.
everybody come out on Saturday. Get there early if you want to get in line and be a part of the first 100 people prize. Plus, we got limited amount of dad joke shirts. So if you want to make sure to get
Is that
your
your
size.
way of saying we didn't order enough?
Well, I never know with event stuff like specific
But
dad
we
jokes.
always
apparel.
say we
I
never know. Like we
30
always.
smalls and 30 mediums. 4 larges.
Oh no, we got the sizing right. And
Yeah.
ever since Eric started doing our merch, he's like, all your listeners are fat.
Yeah.
You're ordering way too many.
4X or nothing.
Yeah. You don't even need smalls. Like I have a whole warehouse full of
I
smalls.
love that. I love Eric. He's right.
No, I know.
Eric is a good dude.
So get there early, and then we'll start selling the beer at noon. Of course, there'll be dad jokes on tap.
Yep.
So you can go. You
Now,
can get the 4-pack of cans.
The beer. I will not be walking around telling dad jokes. Because I think a lot of people feel that way.
What the hell are we
You know, like a lot. I know a lot of people think that we're just going to be out there just riffing dad jokes.
Well,
There is a dad jokes competition.
the
I will
CBE
not
group.
be doing it.
Yeah.
I'm setting up a stage for you and a mic. What do you?
No, not doing those. Those days are over.
All right, we got to nix
Or
that.
maybe they're just beginning. I don't know yet.
I'm not joking. If someone puts me on the spot to tell them a dad joke,
You'll do it.
No, I'll know. I can't
He said he
remember.
wasn't joking.
No, I can't remember. Well, I
just-
remember the ones on the can.
Just go for a pun. Puns are always good.
There you go.
Yeah. I can't do it though.
We'll just hand you a mic like
yeah, I know.
I mean, like,
I
so for
freeze.
instance, somebody says, do a dad joke. You would grab that pencil and draw a circle on the ground or on the stage real fast and be like, you're putting me on the spot. And you go stand on it. You just gotta be corny.
We do have a cordless mic there, so
No, all right. I don't.
Good cordless. Take it into the bathroom.
I'll just scream out. It drives me nuts.
Oh, that's a classic. You guys know that one, right?
Oh. It's the pirate
Yeah,
walks
pirate
in the
walks
bar,
into a bar and he
with
has
the
a steering wheel tied to a zipper.
and
then the bartender asks
now they're coming out. Like
Yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
even know.
Oh my God, he's right. It was
Is that
so
even considered
natural.
a dad joke? I feel like that's a solid joke.
You know, my
dad
dad
joke.
hated that joke.
Did he?
Yeah.
Um,
He more liked more spicier dad jokes, the more
Oh, yeah.
perverted ones. You know, like,
He's now a woman.
yeah, he very much liked that.
He's a red snapper kind of guy.
Yeah, he is a red snapper.
Which was
Yeah.
an idea.
That was an
for-
option, yeah.
Which
For a red
I-
ale.
I said that should be the one.
I instantly regretted putting in an email, by the way.
Yeah. Did you really?
Oh,
You
yeah.
put that in? I didn't know you put that
I
in
thought we
there.
just talked about it. I
No,
didn't actually put that in writing.
Yeah, I put it in writing.
Yeah, you didn't need to say, yeah, I put it in writing.
Which,
Yeah.
which I think it was a little too far.
I mean, especially because I believe you were emailing a lady.
Yeah.
and,
It was about business. It was business.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some
Yeah.
snapping, snapping business.
I-
That was my dad's favorite. He was like, me and the boys went fishing with your mother. She came home with a red snapper.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Dad!
It was.
Oh my God!
it
I
was-
didn't know what that meant for the longest time. I thought my mom was a really good
Reading snapper
angler
tonight, right?
I thought my mom was a great angler, and then I remember the night I found out what that meant. I'd gone to Down the Hatch and actually ordered red snapper. So think about that. Do the math in your brain about what I was eating and the whole nine, and just think about that's trauma.
I actually.
A lot of dad jokes in there, though.
I wrote down in the email red snapper ale question mark
Jesus,
as an
man.
option. And then after
Now I know why he doesn't CC me on emails.
After I hit send, I was like, shouldn't have sent that. I was like,
How are you still here?
I was just like, what?
You know, I ask myself that every day.
I know, yeah, I know. I'm like, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so we come out on this Saturday.
Yep.
And it's the Hourglass Brewing in Longwood, the Megaplex, I'm calling it.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're going to be selling Dad Jokes beer. And
Yeah, we'd love to have you guys out there.
I'm excited about hanging out with
I'm
everybody.
gonna come
in
a
the old
little
school.
early. I'm gonna get there
Yeah.
early and just hang. Yeah, I'm excited to. We haven't done an event or a hangout in a while, and I'm gonna wear my beer hat and be ready to roll.
And then the following Saturday, June 25th, you guys are part of a Dress Like a Dad pub crawl, but it's the Orlando location, the Hourglass District
Oh,
location. right?
nice.
That's
Very
the
good. That's
Ford
the guy.
location.
We had a guy hit us up who said, like, hey, we'd love to be a part of, what you're doing with the Dad Jokes beer. I think the timing doesn't work out perfectly, but if there's any left, I mean, I'm sure those people will be running through the brewery and possibly can get their hands on some.
Yep. So, and do you know any information that dressed like a
I think
dad?
you just dress up what you think a typical dad
let's
looks.
talk
That's
about
a
that.
new thing that's on TikTok is like dress like a dad parties.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's why you guys are doing the pub crawl.
Yeah.
And it's around Father's Day, so
I mean, I guess I
Dress
just
like a
dress
nerd
like
dad.
this, right?
Yeah, but I feel like we're the stereotype of dressing like a dad has always been the generation ahead of
Yes,
us,
of
right?
course,
Because
yeah.
and they were dressing like their dads did in the 50s, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's a gap. So we're all.
Like,
don't know
I am
how many
dressed like
dads
a
we got
dad,
here.
so, like, I am a dad.
Oh, you're all dads. So we're all dads.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're
But-
all dads.
So, but
Yes.
we're not
Oops,
dressed
all
like
dads.
stereotypical dads,
I knew
but
it.
now we are because we're dressed like we
Well,
used to
you
in high
guys
school.
don't look like dads. Like if I saw you, I'd be like, these aren't dads.
Yeah, but but these are the dads of
Of our
2022.
generation,
Yes,
yeah.
because we're
We're
dressing
the dads
like
of America. Whoa.
our dads dress like they did in high school, and we're dressing like we did in high school, basically, or frozen in time in our 20s or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Anna and Elsa.
so we're
I
now.
got like a 3X then if I'm just like my dad.
So
Yeah.
So our kids
My
are going to be
dad.
making fun of flat brim hats and chubbies. And,
I have a curve brim
Oh,
on
yeah.
today.
you know,
sir.
like the beards and
Oh yeah,
and
they're
flat
definitely.
brims.
I mean, people are already starting to make fun of beards.
They're on the way out.
Yes,
Yeah,
beards
yeah.
are on the way
Are they?
out.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel it, and I love my
Thanks,
beard.
fashion.
I don't
And-
want to get rid of my beard, and I feel it. I feel the shift. It's like in
It's
the
like a dad
70s when
beard.
they were coming for your mustaches. All these baseball players were scared, and they were coming. Grim Reaper was coming for your mustache, and you knew it was coming.
yeah.
And eventually, the pendulum, you can't fight that pendulum of style, and it just swings through, and you have to assimilate, right? You have to change.
It's because
know, man.
mustaches are coming back in. So
I-
they're
are
kicking
they?
the beards
I
out.
thi- yeah, they are. You're kind of right, and you got a good stash, so you could do it. You could do it.
Get
You
ready.
could do it.
I
give up the
can't grow one. I can't. I'm not a real man. I'm a
you can
little
be real man,
boy.
you just can be a real dad.
All of us here can do stashes. You're the only one. Yo, you can do a stash. You've done a
No,
stash.
it's real bad.
it is bad. You know it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't try and lie.
I
Try again.
cannot
Wispy.
tell a
It's,
lie.
it's long.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't fill out.
The thing about his
blonde. It's creepy.
It's not even blonde. It's like see-through, like
It's
fishing
like,
line.
it's like
Yeah,
a
it's a
strawberry
it's the Mola
blonde.
stash.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Translucent.
Yeah. It's like the skinny, daddy long
Yeah.
neck, white trash hillbilly.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's
Oh,
gross.
yeah, it's Rob Dyrdek.
Yeah, it's really
It's Max
it's Rob
Fried.
Dyrdek.
It's Max Fried thin too,
Yeah, yeah.
for my baseball boys out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
You
It's-
got the thin Max Fried mustache.
It
It looks like you're asking a girl out to a dance.
And it used to be where I was like, well, I'll show them. No one, I still got ID'd at
Before the
Publix.
pandemic, you grew it out. Right before
No,
the world shut down,
no,
you grew
that
a
was a-
full fat beard.
that
that's
was
gonna
way
help you.
before. But I used to think, well, now I don't have a beard. I still get carded at Publix and stuff. Like, so I keep my youth. But now the sun and whatever else.
just age, yeah.
They stopped guarding me now.
It's like nature,
They see the
trees,
gray
other
sideburns.
people.
Yeah. They're like, you're good.
I want to plug this. I want to plug this other beer I'm drinking real fast.
Yeah.
What is
Okay.
this?
It's called aesthetics.
That's amazing, Sam. You got to try that.
All right.
This is the,
yeah. I think I'm a sours boy now.
That's
I've been dipping into the sours too. Yeah.
I mean, talk about refreshing. They give you an extra little juice in your fillings.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
Get
and
that
they
little,
they pump
yeah.
out a little more saliva. I like that. It's more refreshing.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming in, and thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
partnering with us with Dad Jokes.
We really do appreciate it, y'all.
I remember when we had the meeting, a long time ago when he came up with this whole concept, and it's cool to finally see. That's what I get the most enjoyment out of is like we have a meeting about a concept, and then it's like a lot of work, and now we're sitting in front of us, and we're gonna have a big party on Saturday.
Yeah, and
It's
we
cool.
did so much work on the brewing side of things. I mean, hours.
The work you guys put in was. was
I mean,
I'm
impressive.
glad we didn't do the quintessential. We show up and we're
Yeah.
like, we're doing something.
Yeah,
It's
look at
all-
us. I'm dumping in
It's
wheat.
just a photo
Yeah,
op.
we
Yeah.
all- we-
Look at me. I got grain.
I'm stirring a bucket.
yeah. I have no idea what equipment I'm
It's
using.
like you did nothing.
Everybody, all the partnerships do that. I'm glad that we're just rip the Band-Aid off. Like, look, they didn't touch it. That's how you know it's good.
Danger Brain, thanks to Danger Brain for doing the
Yes.
awesome artwork.
Everybody knows what they're supposed to do here. You guys make the beer. They make it look good. We'll talk about it. That's the way it works.
And our listeners will drink it or all hang out.
yeah,
And
exactly.
everybody wins.
I don't need to be stirring it, I'll just mess it up.
Yeah.
And we use the wipes to clean off the equipment because we're all sweating in it.
Especially right now, it's real hot.
So we'll see you on Saturday, and we'll have a good time. All right, we'll take a quick break.
Can't tell me what to do.
Oh, no, we'll be gone. We're
this
gone.
is it.
Yeah, bye-bye. Welcome back to Corporate Time. Don't forget Carts and Kegs, June 26th. Me and Sam will be out there calling the races.
Yeah.
And it's a golf cart
Skills
challenge timed race.
Precision golf cart driving at its finest. And the two finest sports analysts you could ever have out there watching it, you and Samantha, with matching outfits. People are definitely going to want to get out there and see. What did you get your outfit yet, buddy?
Is it in? I have mine. I just waiting on my shoes.
She has like a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
I'll be the Joe Testator. What was his name? Testator?
Well, who are you talking about?
Joe Testator. I'll be the Joe Testator.
I'll be Riggle.
Wait, you're Rob Riggle and she's Joe Testator?
Yeah.
Okay. Holy moly.
That it starts at 2. It's free. It's around Henry's Depot in downtown Sanford.
Yeah, shout out to Orlando Music Syndicate, who will be DJing the whole thing.
Nice.
Yes.
Love those guys.
I'm glad we got them involved
Yeah.
because so we'll have the music taken care of. So we're not fumbling around because I was like, I saw Daniel do the music on his phone. I could do it too.
Well, we know if you follow us on Twitch, in between segments,
That's true.
if Dan walks out of the room, it is a quiet time with Tom and
Yeah,
Sam.
yeah.
So there'll be a lot
But
of
I don't even have a
dead
Spotify.
silence.
You know what? You guys are in for a surprise. I have hired someone during the moments that I walk out to sit in here and chirp to you guys. None other than international basketball superstar from the Orlando Magic, Bo Outlaw.
Oh, wow.
Will be sitting in when I leave.
I thought you were going to say Glenn Big Baby
No.
Davis because he's in town.
He is in
He's
town.
going to be doing a set at Orlando Improv
I was
soon.
just thinking about how I miss the days when any event, you'd be downtown, Witter Park, your farmer's market, you're getting kettle corn, all of a sudden Bo Outlaw pops up.
If you're at any celebrity golf tournament,
Bo Outlaw.
will be
He's
there.
there.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
there.
yeah. That must be nice. Like you're Bo Outlaw. You're
I met him one time. I go, "Are you Bo Outlaw?" And he goes, "I'm just here for the party subs." Yeah, he's just here for the party subs.
He's a super
He
nice
told me
guy.
that. He's the best.
And
he's the best.
He looks like he's living his best life, too.
I'm
because
just here for the party sub.
He just goes from charity event to charity event.
Yeah, party sub crazy. Stuff in his pockets full of party subs.
And just hangs out, parties.
Yeah.
Who's going to be mean to him? He's Bo Outlaw.
You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of when you get a party sub, they go turkey. Don't go turkey. Go Italian.
Yeah.
Go Italian. Don't go turkey.
Boring ass turkey.
But thank you, Sam. Boring ass turkey. Go Italian. So who doesn't? If you don't like salami, like blanket statement. If you don't like salami, there's a problem with you.
Yeah.
People always think the Italian's gonna be too spicy for my meatball,
Spicy.
and then it's like, your meatball is unhappy, but everybody else is happy. You want to please the most people, right?
Turkey
It's
has
a
no
bland-
flavor.
Yeah.
It's like chicken. People are like, oh, we have chicken. Chicken is horrible. Chicken is the least flavorful meat.
Yeah, it's what bodybuilders eat because
Yeah.
they have to. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's for
exactly.
functionality.
You know, I don't want to be the type of person. You know, and I'll say this with love. You know, I was talking to Mark Marrow one time.
Oh.
He's like, Double Dizzy, look at what I eat every day, and it was just chicken and broccoli. And he's like, Eddie, of course I gotta splurge a little bit with one squirt of Sweet Baby Ray's. I don't want to live in a world where my cheating is one squirt of Sweet Baby Ray's.
No.
I don't want to live in that world.
No.
I'm a 5 squirt Sweet Baby or nothing. 5 squirts of Sweet Baby Ray. 1 squirt of Sweet Baby Ray's?
Yeah.
How's that gonna wet my broccoli? It's not. Tell me I'm wrong.
The irony is, if you don't do that, you won't live in this world.
The funny thing is, Sweet Baby Ray is dead.
He's
dead. He's a dead man.
Heart disease.
He died of heart disease.
Or diabetes.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Too sweet, baby Ray. Too sweet. Sweet your feet off.
Sweet my feet. It's no feet, Baby Ray's.
All right. What do
First
we got?
email.
Yeah. Email.
There goes that Sweet Baby Ray's money.
So I'm assuming this is from like one of those Nextdoor apps, but someone sent in an email saying, "Hey Dan, didn't know if you heard about this in your neck of the woods. Take care and close them blinds. And it's a post that says, District at Baldwin Park. Last night at 1:20 a.m., I was playing Xbox in my living room for some time, and I look up
Pause.
at... Yep.
1:20 a.m. playing Xbox? What are you, a child?
It's a very
Who does that?
specific time,
My
too.
God.
It's a lady as well.
Oh, wow.
I look up at my sliding glass door after a while. There was a naked white man in his 30s, around 160 to 170 pounds, with short hair and black, and
Damn.
masturbating to me with no shame.
You can dial down somebody to 5 pounds just by looking at them nude at your sliding glass door. That's impressive, right? If you're like 65 to 70, I'm like, how about 65 to 90?
I'm assuming this might be a teen or a child, because then they say, I ran and got my brother, and when we came back, he was gone. We didn't call the police, but I saw him again tonight.
Because he saw you. What did you think
Right.
you were going to run away and he was just going to stand there powering through?
yeah. It was like, she'll be back.
Oh.
She probably went to get her mom. Great. Another victim. Like, nobody does that.
When we came back, he was gone. We didn't call the police, but I saw him again tonight at the exact same time, still naked. And
Wait a minute. In the same spot? Well, now he's a ghost because he appears at the same time every night.
And then we called the police. After 30 minutes of them not showing up, my mom saw him outside of another apartment masturbating to a woman and her child. He pulled up.
I don't think this is true.
Yeah.
He pulled
Well,
up
I
black shorts with white stripes and ran. She screamed at him to never come back. After another 30 minutes and 3 more
That'll-
calls to the cops,
that'll save
they
it.
arrived and looked for him and couldn't find him, so they left. They said he most likely lives in the apartments. Please close your blinds, especially if you have a sliding glass door. Look out
Is that
for
what
this
the
man.
police do? The police are like, most likely he lives in the apartments. Close your
that
blinds.
is what they do. And they show up way too late.
Well, hold on. If I know something about police, if Baldwin calls, they come.
Oh, yeah. That's
They're
true.
coming fast.
They do come pretty
Well,
fast.
they came 30 minutes. If it's anywhere else, it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
gotta
I'm just saying.
I don't know if the person that wrote this is, how do I say this, is smart. It doesn't sound as if there's too many details, number one. And when you start spilling out too many details like that, I call your story into question.
Well, it also sounds like an old-timey, mythical type of deal. I know there's been like
the leprechaun in the hood.
Well-
Y'all want to see the leprechaun say yeah.
I know there have been flashers and perverts that expose themselves, and this is a thing. But it seems like a thing you'd say if you want to make up a salacious story. Not that it's made up. I'm just
Or
throwing it
they're
out
trying to look out for the community.
there. Yeah, no.
I think it's made up.
I
I do.
I feel like there would be more investigation. There would be more like police warning people.
No, that's not how it works, man.
Well, no.
I think it does in
but
some cases.
in rich
Yeah.
neighborhoods,
I think it does in some
exposing
cases.
yourself to children. This is perfect
Like-
for the police to say, "Hey, watch out," and scare people.
Yeah, to go along with what he's saying.
And the news to pick it up.
And to even help your argument, if that is the case where some police don't do anything, well, it can't be that way for every single event.
Now,
You know, I mean, like, there are going to be events that people, the police come. This just seems. It seems like if you actually executed by telling the police exactly what was happening correctly, they're not going to sleep on a guy standing there completely naked,
Well, they didn't see him.
masturbating at a door.
They didn't see him.
Well, it's a pretty salacious thing, though, to say. You're not just saying, I think somebody was at my window, or I think somebody was snooping around. You're saying, I see a dude, he's doing it. Normally, they're pretty quick to act on that sort of stuff.
Yeah, if you told me like, hey, some sort of, I reported some crime and it was in the inner city and the police acted like they didn't care, that I believe.
Right.
Well, but
right.
if someone living in
As
Baldwin,
a woman that listens to a lot of true crime podcasts, I'll have to disagree with you both.
yeah,
But
I mean, I just
Well, as a man that knows that true crime podcasts get a lot of stuff wrong, I'd throw that out there too. They will sensationalize. They'll make things bigger than they need to be. They'll skew it to make it sound as if it's.
Well, usually the media will get a hold of something and say like, "Hey, there's a Baldwin Park flasher,"
Oh, without a doubt.
and then to get clicks because people are like, "Oh, the Baldwin Park flasher's out."
That was Andrea's job. You go to the
Yeah.
tape, you pull whatever it is, and you make it as sensational as humanly possible.
And they'll take the reports from the police reports or whatever, and then they'll use it to get clicks. And that's a story. Like some guy's going around in a trench coat flashing himself to underage kids in Baldwin Park
Now,
in a
there
rich
was a
neighborhood
guy-
is the perfect clickbait.
They got that guy in Pine Hills. There was a guy doing it to like school, like what do you call it? Bus stops.
Yeah,
And they got that guy. They just basically, I mean, that's how stupid he was. He was going around bus stop to bus stop doing the same thing. And they're like, yeah, we'll just wait. And sure enough, there he popped up one day doing it. And they're like, gotcha.
There's a lot of mentally ill people. Although this seems like also like imagine if someone is outside your window. Like a flasher doesn't necessarily seem violent, as if like I wouldn't be afraid to chase a flasher down and beat him up. As opposed to, you know what I'm saying? Because I'd be like, damn, this.
It would be. I mean, you guys.
Well, he's nude under his trench coat, so you know what I'm saying. So
Does
it's
a
like,
coat have pockets?
I
though?
think you guys
Yeah,
know
yeah.
me
But,
pretty well. And how would it go if I think I saw a flasher standing near where Maisie's window? I mean, how would that go? It would go terrible for me, for him, for my family.
Yeah.
It would be bad. It would be very difficult for me to not murder that person.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell you guys that even if you guys were there, you'd be restraining me. Like, it would be bad, right?
Oh, I'll go help you stomp him.
Well, then Sam would.
Oh, yeah.
Sam probably be stomping him too. Oh, they'd be bad for him if we found him.
yeah.
If we find you,
I'm like, pull his coat off.
Sam's mocking him. I'm like chopping him with a sword.
yeah. We'll get him good.
Yeah, get him real good. I remember.
But if he started begging me to stop stomping him, I would.
You know what's funny?
Because
Is
I can't.
I'm having him. You know,
Be like, oh God, he just wanted to flash. Like, I probably shouldn't be hurting him this bad. You know, like, you know.
I remember that my godfather, because he has 3 daughters, and I remember one time he, this is before everybody had camera. You know, everybody's got Nest cameras crazy now. Everybody's got everything, you know, all kinds of security.
Yeah.
But back in the day, there was a time when we had none of that. And I can remember as a kid, they'd have like their nightly like Uno nights or game nights or whatever, and I remember them talking about how he found near one of the girls' windows where the actual grass and everything had been stomped down.
Oh, like someone was standing
And
outside the window.
somebody's standing outside the window, and then he found somebody and I remember them talking about it. That used to be like a thing.
Yeah.
Where you'd have
peeping
like,
toms.
that's
of them.
freaking terrifying to me, by the way. Like, good on these Nest cameras and everything, and I don't need somebody just standing there looking in a tiny window. That is just terrifying to me.
Although,
But it was a time when that was like a thing.
It is like a dad's fantasy to catch some peeping tom looking into his daughter's window
That's
and
a
beat
weird
them up.
fantasy.
No, like
No, it's like
aggression,
it's-
revenge fantasy
Yes.
of like catching someone like looking in at your family and you beating them up. So much so that it's like, you know, people have these hero fantasies, or like, if I caught someone doing this,
Yeah.
and I think it's statistically unlikely that first that you'd catch them doing it in the act and that it even going to happen in the first place.
Yeah.
But it's it's that father's fantasy of beating up someone that
Defending your family.
Yeah, defending your
Yeah,
family,
so
which
it-
rarely happens.
Yeah,
Rarely.
And most of the time you get beat up. You fall over and the teens are beating you up.
Or just never a situation where it's that clear cut where you're actually fighting for your family's, rights, or defending them, or whatever.
Safety in
Or
general.
safety.
yeah.
Yeah, it just never happens.
What else you got, Sam?
Hey, Sam. Dan asked on the show to hear what my credentials were. This is the guy talking about the Navy dive tables. Remember, he was very upset, told Tom to stop talking about it. Dan asked on the show to hear what my credentials were, and I realized that there were some things I left out. I've been a professional diver for the better part of the last 22 years. I started out doing underwater maintenance at SeaWorld, and in my 12 years there, I dove about 4,500 hours.
That's dope.
From there, I went to Universal Studios, still employed as a diver, but they dive far less there. I then moved to Pennsylvania, where I took a job at Six Flags in New Jersey, and I was the only person that dove on property there for the past 4 years.
Theme park diver is a cool job.
So far I have dove professionally at 7 theme parks: SeaWorld, Discovery Cove, Aquatica, Busch Gardens, Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, Six Flags, New Jersey, and Epcot, but not as an employee. I paid to dive in the living seas. The thing I left out on the last email is that Navy dive tables are not conservative, but recreational dive tables are. Organizations like PADI take Navy...
Patty.
Okay, Patty, take Navy dive tables and pad them to make them more conservative. So start saying recreational dive tables instead of Navy dive tables, and your example will be spot on.
There you go. Thank you for the
and
help,
then he
sir.
also added, P.S.
I love our
listened-
listeners helping us be dumb.
We'll say dive tables.
Yeah, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
P.S. I listened to the first year of Tom and Dan podcast while working underwater.
That's pretty cool. Okay, like if we're just going dumb old man job of the year, I think like maintenance scuba diver at theme park, I got to put that up there.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we have forgotten about my favorite job of all time, and I said if we ever found one better, please flag it. This one's close. But my favorite dumb old man job for Weird Job Wednesday is that guy that we met at the River Ranch who drove up in his convertible BMW. I'm virtually certain he had a cocktail in his center console. Got out, and then he was the professional airboat driver for us on the airboat tour. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
He had they had this airboat set up for him. It was like a competition level, it
was like a tour
airboat.
Yeah.
And then
with bench seats.
And
all
all
that.
he had to do is know how to drive an airboat really well. And oh my God, and he looked like Ron White. He looked just like comedian Ron White. That's what I'm going for. Florida Ron White, dad.
You got to be a good airboat driver to.
That thing was huge.
Yeah.
Is that
pilot that huge of an airboat?
Not to tangent, but tell me about that. Okay, so what your grandfather had, which is a 4-seater, 6-seater?
2-seater.
Okay, a 2-seater versus what this guy had, which looked like he could carry 20 people if he wanted to, 15, whatever it was. So, what's the difference and how it's dangerous, right? No matter what you say, airboats are dangerous, right?
No, I mean, just as dangerous as any other boat.
Well, boats are dangerous is my point.
Yeah, it just, the problem is it takes more skill, I would say, with an airboat because you're doing different things. First, you have to have power to turn because it uses rudders. So if you let off the gas and the prop stops spinning, you're just going to keep going straight. It's like a jet ski. It needs power.
He drove it really. Remember, he got us up next to the gators and he was swinging us around.
And then you sometimes you're getting on either shallow water or even dry land and sliding across. And there's different things of that. And then also it could sink easier because it's flat bottom. And once water pours in, it's got a lot of them have bilge pumps. Like the Everglades airboats, they have a sealed hull, which means
so it can't sink.
It's flat. It can still sink, but it's not like a regular boat. Like you've seen up here where there's a lot less Everglades.
It looks like a John boat with a fan on the back.
John boat with a fan on the back, as opposed to a Everglades grass style airboat, which is way smaller and the hull isn't open. It's sealed on top. Anyway, I know limited amount about airboats, but probably more than most radio DJs.
I got into this with Sabrina of the News Junkie because we were talking about ultimate birthday gifts, and I'm telling you, my new thing, and they're very hard to find, but occasionally you can find them online, are these mini one-person airboats. It's a mini airboat for one person. Think jet ski size.
Yeah.
But it's an airboat. I'm telling you, it's the coolest thing you'll see it. And you'll be like, oh, I want a mini airboat.
I think mini airboat would be fun as hell.
You ride it on grass. There's people riding it through the woods on in fields of grass because it's an airboat. It's just a little John boat, cut in half.
That's awesome.
I've only seen 4 of them.
The sketchiest things about airboat, there's 2 crashes that I've seen. And
I've only seen one crash, and I saw one live on a boat, and it was real sad.
One is if you're hauling ass, they do the crash where the boat actually catches air, and then it will fly
hang
up
in the trees.
and then land back on the props. Crashing you down and
throwing you into the prop.
Well, there's a cage around it, so most likely, but there's no seatbelt in airboats. And then the other, which has happened to my dad and his friends, in the Everglades, where you just crash into a tree and you're just ejected into the cypress trees or whatever. You crash into a log and there's no seatbelt on it, so you just fly out the captain's chair as far as as fast as you're going.
Something to hold on to?
No.
I mean, there's a stick, which is the rudder, how you steer it, but there's no way if you crash.
As a passenger.
There's side bars that are next to the seat, but
metal bar.
It's just but most likely you're gonna crash into the grass rake, which is that
I'll write that down as things I don't want to do.
Elevated. Now
it's fine.
Most
knock
of
the wind out of you.
Well, you're going on these tours at the River Ranch, and that's a giant mega.
It's like a cruise ship airboat.
Airboat. And you're sitting on the bench, and you got some guy that's professional, not drunk.
He was awesome.
But then you work your way down to drunk guy in the Everglades.
Yeah.
And
friend of a friend.
He's got no shoes. He's gonna hurt himself.
Let's do one more.
All right, this one's about flying. Hey Dan, huge fan with a quick question. I'm going on a trip where I have to fly and I got prescribed Xanax. My
Nope.
question is, have you taken Xanax for flying and how much did you have to take? I tried one at home and I didn't really notice, so I'm wondering if I should take 2.
No.
So I don't constantly think about the plane going down. I'm not looking for you to advise, just wondering what works for you. Thanks so much, and thanks for the years of laughter. I first heard you on the radio doing the Ant Farm return skit bit with Bean as your mentally challenged son. I laughed so hard and haven't stopped listening to you since.
Glad that was the hook to get you
Well,
on board.
how many milligrams? I mean, if it's a
0.25.
Yeah, if it's a 0.25, then that,
If you're a bigger dude, a 0.25 not going to do much. But
Yeah.
for me, like even a 0.25, I can feel it. And that's about all I need. One of the things that I did is I would put my Xanax in a water bottle or like a soda. I'd like drop it down in there so I could have it like quick, like that I could drink it. Like I wouldn't just swallow it. I would have it like in a water bottle dissolved.
Oh, so once it dissolves, it
Yeah.
hits you quicker?
Yeah.
We just snort it.
I mean,
That'll-
yeah, if you can. But no, I don't do that as much, and I haven't been drinking. So I think a 0.5 would be enough for you. Take it about 30 minutes before you get on the plane.
I am no doctor, and you could easily OD on barbiturates, so do not listen to this as...
Correct.
But I have seen people in college literally blacked out drunk already take 2 French fries with
Yeah.
Xanny bars, which
I wouldn't do that,
They're
but-
5 milligrams a piece, and because they call them French fries because like a bar
Yeah, it
and
looks like
split
French
into
fries.
4, or were they 4 or 5?
I think it's 4.
Maybe 4 milligrams. Anyway, 2 of those, and the guy was wasted, and we all, even at the party, were like, "Oh, this guy's gonna
Yeah.
OD or
Bye-bye.
whatever," and
Good
then
night.
and he's fine the next day.
Yeah,
so
I don't like to mix it anymore. So I just do like a 0.25, 30 minutes before you get on the plane. You should be okay. A couple of beers, maybe.
You just need something to knock your anxiety out.
Yeah.
Just
a couple of beers.
you don't want to be incapacitated.
Yeah, maybe ask your doctor
Yeah.
if you can take 2.
Nah, he's gonna do like
Oh.
old Navy dive tables.
Yeah, 2.
Just tell him the first one didn't do anything, right?
0.25, you're fine.
Yeah.
That's
Good.
Dr. Van knows. All right.
Bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Remember, if you want to stay in our Airbnb in Sanford, you can go to bookairtnd.com, and it'll go to the Airbnb site, and you can see upcoming dates that are available.
Yeah, it's super nice. You can enjoy everything that historic downtown Sanford has to offer, including walkable distance to every bar, to a grocery store, beautiful,
Yeah.
awesome house with a kitchen and awesome beds that are adjustable.
If you want to go Sanfording and just
dope.
walk to all the bars, including like every guest gets a little gift box with free drinks at Tuffy's at West End, free appetizer at Hollabox. So we throw in little gifts. The fridge is always packed with beer because we got to buy one or bring one, leave one.
Yeah, it's like bring a beer, leave a beer program. And man, you guys are not taking the beers out. You're just leaving beers.
Yeah. So there's a lot of free
Yeah.
beer and White Claw in there. Anyway, and weekdays are mostly open all the time. So if you want to go there for a weekday, it's only $125 a night. And
Check it out. bookairtnd.com.
Yep. All right. What's the next email?
All right, this is about depression.
No.
Funny how I had just wrote Dan last week about this subject. So today on the News Junkie, there was a commercial that brought up depression. Someone on the Twitch chat said that depression wasn't real and only an American thing. Brock said the guy was just trolling, but he leaned into it hard and he said he travels all over the world and only America has depression commercials and that we were made to think it's a real thing. This falls into the COVID is fake and just a way to get microchips implanted, right? The people who you hope do not procreate. It infuriated me, and I would think it would compare to someone telling Dan that anxiety isn't a real thing. Thanks for all the content and a hard work that you put in to showing your listeners love.
Well, I mean, I guess it could not be a real thing for that particular person because they haven't experienced it, right? So
people
I mean,
can't see beyond their own experience or their
Oh
own
my
reality.
God, coming from you.
I know.
Yeah,
A black hole just opened up in
Yeah.
here.
But no, but
feels
I'm
good though because it's hot in here, so the black hole feels great.
I'm guilty of it, but I'm also aware of it, and I'm aware that I can't see beyond my own experience. So, like everything I tell anybody talks about themselves or like they only know what they've experienced
Right.
in their own reality. I think it would be beneficial if somehow you could experience.
Yeah, but if they also didn't have Parkinson's disease, they know it's a thing, right? You know what I mean? Like, we have to also trust our scientists and doctors to know that things are real.
True, but yeah, 100%. And but it's like one of those.
There's an
things,
element of trolling here too, though.
Yeah.
so.
and it's on a spectrum too, right? Everything is, but depression is on a spectrum. There's people that experience mild and then clinical, and
Well, like even Seth's hypochondria is more severe, I think, even than mine. You know, like everybody
Yeah.
has different varying degrees of what they're dealing with.
I don't suffer from depression, but I felt it one time, and it was
Yeah.
only one time where I clearly, finally understood
you
a
could
little
see
bit.
it.
Where when I got off this, like I got on citalopram because I was having anxiety problems after my brother died, and then it was coming in my form of lightheadedness, kind of like
Yeah.
Daniel's experience. Like I was getting lightheaded all the time or whatever, thinking it was a brain tumor. Like I was doing the all classic symptoms of hypochondria, which was anxiety derived. And then I finally got on citalopram, which stopped it all, which was amazing. But then I got off of citalopram, probably didn't do it right, and there was like 5 days or 4 or 5 days where it was weird, and it scared me because it was like a void of any emotion,
Yeah.
and even happiness, and it seemed like I would never, like, I felt like I could never experience happiness again.
God,
Like,
that's terrifying.
and I was like, man, this is probably what people with depression feel like all the time or experience. And and it's my own perception, so I can't talk about it to everybody's experience. But I did feel like, whoa, this is a lack of happiness and zero, and it feels like it'll last forever. And I
Right.
can imagine that people that are depressed feel this, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm sympathetic to anybody experiencing that feeling
Yeah,
that I had. And then it went away from me, luckily. And I think it was probably a result of getting off the citalopram, and that was. But my chemicals got back to normal. But when I felt it, I was like, man, I sympathize more with people suffering from depression, because I was like, that's a horrible feeling to feel every
Yeah,
day.
Andrea had something very similar where she's never really been able to relate to me talking about anxiety, but in the last couple of years, she's actually got a bigger picture of it, or maybe experienced some herself. So it's a little bit easier once people have experienced it to understand that, not everything is explainable, especially some of the thoughts in your brain,
And I think like it's also become diluted by our vernacular as far as people use the term "I'm feeling depressed" when
Or I'm having anxiety. They overuse it.
and then so it,
Yeah.
and then I think it dulls it to the people that don't know about it, to the point where it's like, oh well, you're throwing it around too easily,
Right.
And then they're like, oh yeah, well my girlfriend felt a little depressed the other day, no big deal, and
it's
they're
like the term genius. Everybody's a
Yeah,
genius.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Or the
no.
word literally.
Yeah.
yeah. And then like the people that don't know or have never experienced depression or anxiety think it's not a bigger deal, or don't think it's a big deal, because people have thrown around the term so loosely that they associate it with, one of their friends saying it, as opposed to people suffering from like clinical depression or anxiety disorder.
I mean, I get a lot of
I've seen Daniel. I could testify 100% that I've seen Daniel suffer through it for nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
I've been seeing Daniel every day struggle through working it out, and it is not something he'd make it up.
No.
Nothing he wants to.
No,
he
it's
didn't want to do it.
embarrassing. It's embarrassing at
But it shouldn't
times.
be embarrassing. It's like your brain is releasing too much stress chemical, whatever it is. It's
The one that-
you're suffering through
The
it.
one that I think about the most that's so apparent, and this just happened like, I don't know, a couple of months ago, when you and I were in here talking about something business-like, when I had to tell you, I was like, I have to walk across the street because I am freaking out, right? It was like that, right? Like we were standing in here, and I'm like, I need to take a walk because I am losing my mind. And
your brain is dumping so many
Yeah.
chemical, the stress chemical, the fight or flight chemical, whatever you want to, whatever it's
it's
doing.
not fun.
It's off someone else.
But that's why I tell people, sometimes people will be like, like it's almost, you have to be careful when you say this, because you don't want to ever dismiss anybody having anything or working their way through things. But there are some people that almost enjoy the aspect of having an issue with themselves. You know, like there are some people that like they I don't know. It's almost like they're more comfortable when they're able to label themselves as having a hard time, or
it's all they talk about. And
right.
And I don't, even with this listener's email and the guy saying like other countries don't experience as much as the United States, I agree with that. Like because now it's probably not because they're not experiencing it. It's because their culture or
the
whatever
way that they label it,
their medical
yeah,
system,
exactly.
the way they label it, all this stuff, like it's different everywhere. So also the United States is a pharmaceutical land, run by
it's pill land,
run by drug companies. So we're going to be inundated more with it, and we're going to be sold the citalopram's and the Zolofts, and that's going to be pushed down our throats. So of course more people are going to be on it, and I do agree. Doctors use it as like they put people on Zoloft a lot of times when maybe they could work it out through other means, through exercise and stuff, and maybe drugs shouldn't be the first thing given to you.
The number one things that work for me absolutely are my therapy and exercise. 100%.
Can't people understand that it's GD complicated? Like if it's not cut and dry. Like it's a complicated.
Life is complicated.
Issue that is not this guy saying it's only America, it doesn't exist, and this guy's a little bit right when it's like other countries don't. Diagnose depression or like, as much as the United States or whatever.
You also probably don't see as many commercials because maybe their healthcare system is better. I mean, there's a lot of ins and outs to this conversation.
Or maybe your commercials are controlled by the government, so of course you're not going to have any of them.
We live
in
a
consumer society.
Right.
Yeah, where our pharmaceutical companies are running our politics and stuff.
They're running everything.
Yeah, and they're making billions of dollars off of,
selling pills.
Selling pills
Yeah.
to us, but it doesn't mean the depression's fake.
Right.
It just means that they're utilizing it, and the fact that they're making so much money
means
should,
it's real.
should tell you that a lot of people are looking for answers, right, from this problem. Anyway,
What else you got
Next,
over there? Yeah.
Allergy shots at home.
No.
On one of the more recent episodes, you mentioned about getting allergy shots but didn't want to wait around the doctor's office. There exists a version of allergy shots where you keep the vials and perform the injections yourself at home.
Okay.
The vials store in the fridge, and you perform the injections every other day. You keep the EpiPens and children's Benadryl on hand in case anything happens. If you like, I can give you the number to my doctor's office. I'm on my second time doing the 6-month treatment plan and went from 19 allergens down to 17 and have seen some major improvements in quality.
Two allergens
in 6 months?
2 allergens?
For 2 shots a morning
I
and
was
then
expecting
every other day.
I started at
Yeah.
19, I'm down to 6. I
That
did
seems
started at
like a
19,
slow
I'm down to
process.
18.
yeah.
No, well then I'm not doing it.
Also, I don't think I could inject myself.
Oh, I know I could inject myself. I know I
It
could.
depends on where. Like,
I don't know if I could
I
do
like
it. I don't
it-
even like looking when they
It's
take
in
my
your-
blood. I just don't look at it.
It's in your upper ding-dong meat. It's like right here.
no,
No, it's
that's
right
not what-
here.
No,
pouch,
on your
the bad pouch.
Yeah, on your pappus.
No.
Which, by the way, I've lost a lot of weight, so my pappus down there
saggy.
is...
saggy peppers.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's like a coin purse.
Hairy.
It looks like something you could put some... you put like some rolling papers and a grinder in. It looks like a weed bag.
Looks like a buffalo's eyelid.
It does.
Oh.
It looks like a pale Crown Royal bag. Get another one.
So you're out of that one. You don't want his doctor's number.
I mean, I don't
It's too
know.
much work.
It's a lot of work.
I'd rather just some old Meemaw shoot me up with the stuff.
But also, if it cured your allergies, I would say worth it. But
It
if you're-
doesn't.
every other day you're taking shots, you're keeping the vials in your
Tony
refrigerator.
Rage did it, and then he's
and
like...
what if
only
you
two
spill all the
down?
vials out on your kitchen floor?
I think Tony Rage did it, and now he's back on the Claritin. I think everybody does it, and sometimes it works. I don't think it's foolproof.
And also,
I need a foolproof.
You probably have to keep doing it to create the barrier. Like once you stop, you'll go back. It's like testosterone or whatever else. Like your body will go back to its natural homeostasis, and then all that will
gotta
be for
do it
nothing.
forever.
Yeah, you do it forever. And like same thing with testosterone. A lot
I
of
want to
these
get on the
things,
testosterone.
but these things will help you.
I want to look like Liver King. How do I want to be the smallest. I want to be Liver King Jr.
That's
Lil
testosterone, HGH.
I want to be Lil Liver King. I'm going to brag about my family. I have Maisie and Andrew out there lifting weights with me. I'm be punishing them. They're dragging some weights through New York City, through Times Square.
But again, all this stuff, once
What's
you get
up, Little Liver King here? You got to do the 5 tenets of life. You got to eat the balls. You got to eat the liver. You got to eat the glands. Eat as many glands as you can. Little Liver King out. I think people will love it.
don't forget testosterone.
Don't forget steroids.
It's the main key here. You can eat the liver too, but make sure you don't forget the testosterone, or
These
you won't look
guys,
like me.
that's basically my algorithm on TikTok are all like Liver King and this other guy like Dr. Meat. He's like a buff
the hell
doctor
are you
and he's
guys
like
watching?
a surfer. He's like a surfer. And all he does, and this guy talks about he doesn't brush his teeth with toothpaste because he's like, if you eat just balls and glands, your breath will be good. And he's like, if you just eat raw liver, balls, and glands, and you'll have all the nutrients you need, you'll have all the protein your body needs. You won't need to ever use soap. You'll never have to use toothpaste ever again. No deodorant. You won't need it because the balls and glands make you smell good.
It's
These guys are liars, right?
well, maybe not. It's just what they're telling you need to do is unrealistic to most people.
Yeah, like how
especially
am I supposed to go through a drive-through and give me 2 glands and 2 balls?
Yeah, you have to prep all your food. You have to order a special. It's the same thing with like Gary V or even Rob Dyrdek.
You know why I don't
His
like Gary
business
V?
stuff-
And this is going to come as a shock to you why I don't like Gary V. Too short.
Weird.
I don't like short people. I don't trust
I
them.
know that about you.
Yeah, I've said that for years. I don't
yeah.
trust short people. I don't like them. They're gross.
It's just when you have a business TikTok and then you're like, this is what you have to do. Get
It's
up
called Biz Talk.
every morning, 4:30, meditate 20 minutes, then your workout.
Yeah, work out for 1 hour. Then you,
Do you
yeah.
even do this, Gary Vee? Because you're always just talking on
20
TikTok.
minutes.
How do you have the time?
Then 20
Yeah,
minutes
yeah.
in your gratitude journal in the
Yes.
limo on the way to ABC News.
Yeah. Then it's like then light breakfast, then a protein shake. What you're describing is an insane process that most people are like, I have to work. Like, I'm so tired. I have kids. Like, I can't do this. I can't get up at 4:30.
Liver King has kids.
Like,
And he just makes his kids lift weights in a field shirtless all the time.
and what you're watching is entertainment.
By the way, Liver King's sons are not buff. So he hasn't...
I don't know who that is. I gotta look.
Oh, you
this
got to
up.
look up Liver King. He's the best.
He's a guy with a beard that's super ripped, like super
Yeah,
muscular.
super tan, super buff, and all he does is wear
He's like
tiny shorts. That's it.
An American
I've never
flag.
seen this guy before in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I get him on my TikTok. too,
The Liver King.
And then Joe Rogan talks ass because he's like, this guy's on steroids. He's BSing.
So is he.
I know, but he talks about it. What Joe Rogan's like, this guy's not talking about.
Oh,
the
this
fact,
guy's saying he's not on steroids.
No,
and
he's
Joe
a-
Rogan's trying to call him out.
He only eats the
Yeah,
balls and glands.
He says that he got that ripped from just eating liver, and
Gotcha.
and it's ridiculous. So like,
it is.
that's working out hours a day, and obviously based on your age, because the guy looks like he's in his 30s, like you're on some sort of testosterone therapy.
Yeah,
that's the new thing. Like guys that,
But they don't talk about it.
Well, they don't say
keep
steroid-
it. They keep it to themselves, which I feel like
He's 44.
That's my age basically. I'm
Yeah,
46 yesterday, 2 days ago.
They're like, oh, everything's natural.
looks good.
I this is what I do. It's just like when people tell me, they're like, oh, you look good. I feel the need to
For
tell
speed.
them. Well,
Oh.
that you're on Adderall.
yeah, because I tell them that I do eat clean. Like I
you
have
do.
changed my life and my eating habits. So I tell them I'm like smoothie every day. I have a small lunch and I try to like eat lean meats and cut out like beer and like you
Yeah.
know the sugars and bread like
Yeah.
you know all that stuff. But I am on 10 milligrams of Adderall a day, which I'm sure helps. And like the guys that are ripped and stuff, they'll tell you all their whole diet plan and the workout regimen, but they won't tell you that they're on testosterone therapy. But because they won't say it's steroids, even though that's what testosterone is. That's what steroids are.
Right.
They're testosterone, but they'll justify it by saying, "Well, I'm just on the therapy, doctor's orders to get me
I'm familiar with that.
to wear my
Chris
testosterone."
Benoit said that too.
Yeah, those guys were abusing it. That's the thing. Like,
But the doctors gave him the prescription for it.
they're true.
So that's how they get around it.
You can go now if you
This guy's giving Yukon Cornelius vibes.
are
I could see that.
His face.
If UConn was that buff.
Yeah, just the face.
and the dangers with testosterone is when it gets over 1,000 and like it's out of control and it's like you're running too much and your body's like it's hurting your body by getting over 1,000. But if you keep it within the levels, but that costs a lot of money. But you should divulge that to people, like, because that's a huge advantage. In fact, I would argue that's 85% of the whole thing. Maybe food is like 6. You know,
I mean,
It's the liver.
it's 60% of what your results are is the testosterone you're on,
It's
because
just
that's what's causing you
misleading.
ripped.
It's just misleading when you're telling everybody that they can look like you if they just eat liver and balls, and it just doesn't work like that.
And now, because the guy is ridiculous. Now he could have insane genetics, and that all
I'm
plays
sure
into
there's
it.
something that plays into it.
But you know, your genetics could be that you run your testosterone. Your testosterone's already running at 900, right?
Right.
So then that's why you look like this.
Right.
It's like, you know, like Lance Armstrong before everybody found out he was doping, and he was basically blood doping, which is putting more oxygen in your blood
your
or whatever.
blood, right.
But he did have a scientifically or biologically bigger
He was
heart.
always running higher than all of us, yeah.
His heart was bigger than normal
Sorry,
humans
he's
and
having
stuff.
a miniature heart attack. now.
Now he was using like blood doping as well to win.
Well,
but
if you have a big heart and you dope, think of how fast you
Yeah,
go.
that's
My
why you won.
God, you're flying.
so if you're genetically producing more testosterone than other people, you're going to have an advantage over someone else than not producing as much as you. Like
Yep.
it's just body science. I don't know anything about it, but I would guess that that's how it works.
You got another email over
Sure.
there? One more to close us out?
Harlan Williams and Air Bud Productions.
Okay.
My God, they are a monopoly. They have cornered the doggo market in acting. New Netflix content every week almost. Super Pup's newest show. They are all hallmarky in general, but dogs are great for the 8-year-old. Figure some content can be made funny about the massive Air Bud Productions, all from a basketball dog.
Okay, is Harlan Williams now taking over the
don't
Air
know.
Bud franchise?
I had no idea about
I
that.
didn't know there was a new Air Bud. I love Harlan Williams. He's been very sweet to us and to our kids.
Yep.
He signed Puppy Dog Pal books for your boys and for my daughter. Very sweet man.
Super talented, funny dude.
And a weirdo.
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
good way.
Yeah.
He's a good weirdo. He owns a plot of land. He loves bulldozers. I follow him on TikTok, and he always admires the heavy machinery.
This is out of my son's wheelhouse already.
Yeah,
Like,
Maisie aged out.
they're-
If it's on, sometimes she'll leave it on. It's almost like for nostalgia. Have you seen that in your boys yet? Where they're like, and then she'll go like, I used to like this.
There was a movie in 2011 called Spooky Buddies that Harlan Williams did voice a character in. But that was a long time ago. I don't really see any connection with Harlan Williams and Air Bud recently.
Do you think they were talking about Puppy Dog Pals, not Air Bud?
Well, he did name a
He
new
said
show
Air
called
Bud
Super
Productions.
Pups.
Okay.
Super Pups with a Z.
Just some new
mean,
version of
he's-
Puppy Dog
I
Pals.
mean, Puppy
or-
Dog Pals has, books, coloring books, toys.
Yeah,
That
so
became
that
a
is a
big
Harlan
franchise.
Williams
Yeah, I mean,
situation.
I think that if done correctly, Harlan Williams can make more money with Puppy Dog Pals than he ever made in comedy.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, if his deal is correct, I don't know. People look at Disney and they don't realize that they're a harsh ass billion-dollar
Yeah,
corporation. Shrewd. Yeah. They do not F around. They're not. It's not Disney World when you do business with them. They are Disney business. Which
Diz
Okay,
biz.
so
There's a reason.
so Ghost of Manu Bull in our Twitch chat room is saying this is part of the Super Buddies franchise, which is a spinoff of Air Bud.
Gotcha.
There you go.
In fact, I've heard that Disney's even harder to deal
Yeah.
with than like a Netflix or whatever.
It's like getting your product in Publix. Like everybody thinks that's amazing, and it is, but it's
hard
hard
to do.
as hell to do it.
Well, and they built their brand to a level where if you're working with them, you're elevated. So it's like I don't blame them for
Yeah.
they know what they have.
Indeed.
All right, bye.
I'll start.
Bye. Bye.
Blah.
Stupid.
Bye.
I'm done with it.
Yeah, me too. Welcome back to the show, everybody. That was the worst intro we've ever done, but we did it deliberately, so it's now the best intro we've ever done. Welcome back to the show.
Let's talk tiny toy section at the CVS or
Yes,
the Publix
Walgreens.
or Winn-Dixie.
Yes.
They're
Or CVS and Walgreens, they got a full aisle now.
Yeah, but it's dated stuff. It's like they'll have
It's
like
Furbies.
like they'll have an Undertaker doll after he's retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they'll have like Stranger Things 11 figurine season 2.
so the toy section will never die because
It's for grandmas and bad fathers.
yes, and there's always grandmas and bad dads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot in common. Bad dads and grandmas have a lot in common. They both feel guilty for not seeing their family as much as they should. One is afraid to go out of the house because of COVID and because the media has really hammered her with fear. The other likes his new family and girlfriend more than his old family and kids.
Not
because-
more. He just spending more
It's
time
more.
because the new girlfriend
more fun.
better than the old nag.
Exactly. The old nag with the kid,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you get over there, and it's like, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just wish I'd stayed home with my girlfriend and acted like I'd never put it in your mom.
So then you buy a toy on
Yes.
the way to their birthday party, or
You buy,
just to
like-
see them to buy their happiness.
Let me test how trashy you and Sam are. Name the brand of football, not Nerf. Name an off-brand foam football company.
Vortex.
Wrong. That's a Nerf product.
Oh yeah, off-brand foam football company.
Off-brand foam football company.
Is there some company called Nuff?
No, it's called Poof. We were
Oh.
looking for Poof.
Ooh.
Damn it! I knew it was something.
Yeah, you were close,
Oof.
Sam. Too fancy to work here. You're, you know what? You might earn
Close.
your trash wings.
Yeah.
You might earn your trash wings. Very close to
I
Poof.
also don't look at the toys. So
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so,
well,
yeah,
you don't,
yeah.
you're not a man, and men are babies. So that, even without kids, I never went. Okay. Here's something I'm embarrassed to tell you both, but you probably believe this. Without children, and even with my girlfriend and not married, there's never been a time I've walked into Target, Walmart, or any of those big box stores where I haven't gone down the toy aisle because I am a child.
Who's got the best toys out of all? Like I'm
I'm
talking.
a Walmart guy for toys.
Oh, for sure, Walmart.
They got it all.
No,
They
yeah.
got it all.
Well, okay.
Why do you think I love Walmart?
That
Better
doesn't
toy
count.
aisle.
Doesn't count.
No, go. Are you crazy?
Walmart has the toy aisle of
They
a
have
miniature
multiple aisles,
Toys
yeah.
R Us.
Yeah,
you know,
but
it's like 5
but
aisles.
hold on a second. That
I'm
then
talking mini toy display.
Oh, you mean like
grocery
CVS.
store, CVS. CVS shouldn't even count because they've got a whole aisle. You
yeah,
know?
they do. So does Walgreens.
Yeah, but it's near.
I like the mini aisle with like sandwich.
A partial
half.
aisle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Half
Just,
aisle.
it's
It's a
just
grocery store,
it's
basically.
for true emergency. Yeah, okay, let's narrow it down. All the grocery stores, like, is Publix better than Winn-Dixie toy aisle?
Yes.
I couldn't tell you the last time I've been inside of a Winn-Dixie.
Publix is better than Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie's toy aisle can get a little too close to the cat food.
What if?
A little too
How
close to
about-
the light bulbs.
Can I throw in a Walmart neighborhood market?
No.
They only have a partial aisle.
But it's still really good because it's still got that Walmart juice behind it.
Now, hold on. Just based on demographics, I feel like the poorer people buy the toys and the rich people
No.
don't buy as many toys.
I think they do. I think rich grandma going through, oh, my son likes puppy dog pals. Let me get a puzzle.
And there's a lot of parents that are like, oh, you can pick one toy out every time they go to the grocery store.
A lot of times
that wasn't
it's-
my family,
it's
but that
just
happened.
I got my hand slapped.
You know what's it's funny about the toy? It's all garbage, right? It's like
It's all gateway toys. Like a Lego set that's $7, it's got 20 pieces.
yeah. And what I mean by garbage is most of the time, like there's a box of plastic or rubber dinosaurs of
Yes.
various
Yes,
sizes.
a tube of dinosaurs.
And then there'll be a generic princess doll that's not like any sort of brand name that you recognize.
It's
It's
just
just
I
like-
have the Publix Instacart toy section
Ooh.
up. You are right. It is the Poof.
Of course I'm right. I'm trashy.
We have
I
a
know.
Right Light sing-along microphone.
Sam, I was never allowed
What's
to
the most
own Nerf. I was only allowed to buy Poof. Poof brand only.
What's the best toy you could buy at Publix right now? Like,
Drone. You can get a drone.
Can you?
No, I don't know. Do they only have mini drones?
Like, what's the most expensive toy? Is there like an $80 or something, or like is it 60?
Yeah, they got like
What's the-
one game.
Yeah.
One like Tiger handheld LCD video game.
What?
I don't know. I have to click on each one to see the price because that's how Instacart has it set
Instacart, you
up.
stink, Instacart.
So they would have taken
There's a lot of Lego stuff. Lego stuff is pretty expensive,
Yeah.
right?
like how
Lego
much
stuff is a premium.
I need to talk to Jordan and find out like how much money a year do you make selling toys?
Not a My Little Pony, but they do have a petite princess pony.
Yeah, it's
You-
off-brand.
You think they make 6 figures a year on toys?
Out of all their stores, yeah.
Well, but like say
No,
the
not here.
50,000 a year on toy sales.
These kids, these punk-ass white kids driving their golf carts around, they don't give a damn about any of the toys here at this Publix.
No.
Yeah, but you get divorced dad, rich dad that may, he doesn't know any better.
He's
and
just going to pick you up something from the Aldi showroom, you know?
Or I guess like they have same day delivery on Amazon now. That's got to be.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
Yeah,
is. No
cutting-
one's going to Publix anymore.
Did the heat turn on? Because it's twice as hot.
It's
Yeah, it is.
so
I
I think
hot.
the heat
it's
turned
getting
on.
hot.
But anyway, yes, to answer your question, what is the, okay, like the least The least used aisle in a grocery store is what? Least used aisle.
Like cooking
School
utensils.
supplies.
Yeah,
Cooking.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, salad bowl. Wooden salad bowl aisle.
They do have paper and school supplies.
I go there all the time. We buy our computer paper.
I think we're the only ones that go there.
Exclusively.
Well, because it's an emergency item, you know.
Every 2 weeks, I walk to Publix. I buy a $15, 100 sheets of computer paper. $15.
Magazine aisle. Good guess. Twitch chat.
Yeah,
magazine aisle.
Are people
with the
still
books,
getting magazines?
with the paperbacks.
I think
all the
they take-
romance novels.
I think they've taken that out.
It's
There's-
smaller.
There's no magazine
Yeah,
aisle.
Yeah, there is.
There is?
Yeah.
And then they got all the
No
paperbacks.
way.
I think it's the
Yeah.
same aisle as the dog food at this one.
Yeah, dog food, light bulbs.
Like I know
Yeah.
they got greeting
Car
cards. Like
chargers.
greeting cards are still a business.
Oh
which
yeah,
is
there's
insane.
2 aisles of
Flash
greeting cards over
drives.
there.
But I cannot believe.
It's a tiny section. It's about as small as the toy section.
You know what I feel bad about that caught on for a split second, but it didn't make it out? You know, like the QR code is going to make it out. The QR code barely saved.
Corona saved the QR
Yeah,
code.
Corona did save the QR code, but the greeting card is still king. And there was a split second where me, my mom, and even my dad reluctantly thought that the e-card was going to take over.
Yeah.
That you always had to go to ecard.com and pick out an e-card and fill out all the stuff, and then you sent it, and then they got the email, and then they'd have to click the link, and then it would pop up, and he'd play a stupid song, or have like a dancing bear or something in there.
You're right. I bet Hallmark was super scared when like smartphones became super popular. Like I bet they saw the writing on the wall. They're like, oh man, our
Remember
business
print your own cards?
Yeah.
They had a
Our
software.
printers. Yeah.
They still have that now where you can log on to Hallmark and you can buy your own card stock and find any other cards. This was like where they thought it was going. It's not going there, by the way.
No.
People were like, F that.
Yeah,
I'm not
people are
printing
too
my own
lazy.
card. Yeah.
They'll buy a card for $7.89.
Oh, dude, I bought a
know,
card
$11.
I bought an $11. You've obviously bought one recently. I bought Sam was there with me.
And then I do scream out in my head, this is
$11.
ridiculous.
It's crazy.
like, I know it's an old man thing, but you're selling me an $11 piece of cardstock? Business is insane.
It's crazy.
And
but-
I don't really even love the message. I'm just in a panic picking out whatever my wife thinks that I put some thought into.
And there was a time when I thought, oh, okay, well, everybody will have cardstock. Everybody will have a nice printer. And you'll never shop for a card ever again. You'll just go to your computer, load up Hallmark, go to what you want, find it, print it. And I've only done that maybe one time when I thought I was like, this is years ago, too. I thought I was like part of the future. I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Hallmark.com.
make my own card.
Yeah, make my own. I was like, oh, look at it. Doesn't look as good as the one they could have printed. Doesn't look as good.
yeah.
I had to fold it myself. It looks like crap.
It's insane. That business will seemingly always survive. What's going to kill it? Like, it would have already been killed if...
I think it would have already been killed.
Like,
Yeah.
we're too lazy and we're bad people, so we're always in a panic to get someone something that shows
And
them
it's
that
just
we
better.
thought.
It's just like it's a little bit better. And just because it's a little bit better and easier, we're like, I'll take that.
Because we're so bad at life that we're always going last minute to the store to find something, and I look for cards like this. I'm like, wife's birthday, wife birthday, religious. I get that out, and then I go down like funny dog, either
I always go dog.
or funny
I'm
or
so
monkey.
lame. I go dog.
And then so I'll usually go funny instead of sentimental, because that's not my style or whatever, because
Yeah,
my
you
wife
do.
would be like, why'd you get me this super religious sentimental?
I usually get a romantic one that talks about like, tonight I'll be peeling off your jeans.
And then I pay $9 for a piece of cardstock. And
I get the wrong size envelope, so it doesn't fit.
And then I give it to my wife, and she looks at it, and she puts it on the counter, and then punts it in the trash. And I'm like, this is insane this business exists.
Yeah.
It is insane that we all fell into it.
We all do it.
As a society, we didn't look at Big Card and Hallmark and say, we're not falling for your trap anymore. You're convinced us to buy garbage that we just throw away is ridiculous. That costs you 4 cents to print that card. And you're like, I know what paper costs. It's cheaper than ever.
I'm almost at a point where Andrea and I don't give cards. Like, I'm almost at a point where we have given up on cards.
See, me and Krista will still do it
No.
because
You got to get rid of it, dude.
Yeah, we haven't done cards. in a
Yeah,
while.
you guys are out of it, right?
Yeah.
I think there's some similarities here because I watch what Sam does, and without kids, she gets the luxury of like eliminating certain things that are kind of silly.
I know.
And I'm almost done. I feel it with Andrea. I'm almost done with the card thing. In fact, Andrea did not get me a birthday card on Sunday. Maisie did. Maisie,
You know what? Another thing
but
that
I
is
did not get a birthday
phasing
card.
out birthday cards. Social media posts.
Yeah.
Post a picture of your wife. Say how much you love it.
I
You
don't
did it
do
for
it as-
Mother's Day.
I don't do it as much anymore.
But it didn't really.
You still got a card though.
My wife did a small
Yeah.
one, like, "Hey, congrats to this
Yeah.
guy" or something. But I didn't do the thank you post either. Should I? I'm kind of tired.
Fine.
I appreciate everybody that said happy birthday to me. I read all of them and I love all of them. But I don't want to write back to everyone. Normally I would. I'd go through and every single one I'd write thanks, heart emojis, face. Like
No, you do one at the end, your own post or comment saying thanks to everybody on this post, and that's it. You don't
except for
thank
that
anybody.
one guy.
But it's crazy. Cards survived, and the business seemingly maybe it's less than it used to be, but it's still strong. You could tell by the store. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like Publix has shrunk it down.
No, it's bigger than ever.
Yeah, it's
like
the whole aisle.
Yeah,
and
I thought they'd pull it back, but they did not.
I'd love to stop buying them. I find myself buying them.
Just stop.
I can't because I get it myself, and I could stop if I was a better human and better at life.
Now, are the boys
because then
trained?
I would do something better and more thoughtful in advance, and my wife wouldn't need a card. But because I wait till the last minute, I rush to get a card because I got nothing else.
Are the boys
You know?
trained to
That's
get cards?
true.
Because Maisie, through us doing it, even though we are phasing it out, like Andrea and I are absolutely phasing it out naturally too, just for no reason other than we've been busy and then there's a lot of dance. We are phasing out cards, but I will tell you, that kid, she asks for her own stationery and she likes little cards and stuff like that. I mean, she's forever. I mean, she'll give me a card for anything. You know, like I call, "You're the best
yeah.
daddy, got your card." You know, like she loves a card, man.
Interesting.
Loves a good card.
Well, she's like, the Andrew's daughter. It's,
Oh, yeah.
My sons, I have to yell at them the morning of Mother's Day or birthday or whatever the hell.
Oh, no,
I'm
she's
like,
playing-
go make a card before you play video games. Make something. Gigi wants something you guys made, and don't half-ass it.
Yeah, they always half-ass it.
Yeah. And
They
then
don't want to do it.
and I force them to
Stop
go
forcing them.
and make a card or something. But then they have no concept.
They know it's dumb.
Like, Tommy has no concept of what money, like the amount of money, like Teacher Appreciation Day.
Get her a car.
No, we had to get, all like
The
gift
White Claw
cards.
basket again?
No. This is a public school, so we just do gift card.
Okay.
I'm
and-
now. My belly button. If I stuck my finger in it, it's a pool of water. Right
Yeah,
now.
It's getting worse.
Yeah.
But
Oh, and I farted. Oh God, it's
Stop
hot.
with the hot air.
Hot and wet.
they,
Oh, Javier's
Coming to
here.
get me.
Javier's blowing the hot air under the door. Oh God,
It's worse.
He's smoking us out of here.
it's like foggy.
Yeah, that's me. That's my butt.
It's so dense. We need to open a window.
I'm calling OSHA.
It got real hot. Like,
He
so
is
wet.
blowing hot air in
He
here.
is. He's blowing a gas-powered
it's so
blower.
wet. it's like soup.
Don't ever say that again.
No, it is.
It's so wet.
It's all wet in here.
Okay.
Are our fish going to be okay?
Yeah, they're fine.
They're boiling.
I'm gonna
up.
put my head in there and swim around with them a little bit. I'm gonna get in the fish tank.
Yeah, it's cool in there. Anyway.
What were we talking about? Greeting cards. Anyway, you want to do voicemails, emails?
Yeah. Let's do
All
that.
right, Sam, load up the emails. I'll get the voicemails. I apologize for passing gas. I think
I'm going to need some more emails, you guys. Send me some emails. show@tomandan.com.
I think I get gassy when I get hot. I get a little gassy. Let's try this one right here.
Hey everyone, this is Western North Carolina BDM here, hoping you never play anything I send in. Again, listen to the latest Friday free show. You're talking about the poor guy with his arm missing that's a fit athlete on Peloton. There's a guy at my old hunting camp who got his arm cut off. I have no idea how. His arm's gone. Like, nub pretty much at the top. Like, there's not even to the elbow, just like, I don't know, 6 inches from the shoulder. Enough to flap. We convinced him to get a shark tattoo on the inside of his arm. So he's got the teeth and then the nose is the shark. And he didn't tell his girlfriend, his long-term girlfriend at the time, that he was going to get it. And he ended up getting it, and she was not happy. Not happy one bit. They're still together, but she is not happy, and he's not super happy about the tattoo. I'm sorry to say, but it was his choice. I mean, we just helped him with it.
I'm glad I hear this because it makes me realize I am good at telling stories.
Oh yeah, you're definitely good. Yeah, you're good at comparatively.
Yeah.
You are a king.
Yeah. Like sometimes you gotta watch the biggest guy run to realize you're not that slow.
Yeah, to appreciate how quick you actually are.
That story could have been told faster. Sir.
There are a lot of people that I can see that. Well, your nub, if you are missing a limb, effectively becomes your hand, right? Like it becomes a part of you that, especially, I think when you're missing a limb, you have to decide whether or not you're gonna show it or keep it covered, right? It starts there with one of two choices.
Yes, yeah.
And if you decide to show it, then it should be either you should be okay with a novelty tattoo on it, or you have to leave it completely alone and make it look healthy, not ashy, and certainly not like it's shedding, scaling. Like it's got to be like a. So
listen, I know that if I had
a nub,
some like I was an amputee, I would be more of a hide it from the
Me
public
too.
eye.
Yeah, I would hide my nub.
How would you hide it?
Hide it under a bushel. I'm gonna let it shine.
I would do the old pin back my long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, I would do the shirt
so
thing.
hot.
I would. I'd go
even a short sleeve. I'd do the tuck under and pin it.
I'd go so far as I'd have a prosthetic and a long sleeve shirt all the time, so people think I do have
and
an
a dole arm,
Yeah,
just a floppy dole
yeah.
arm. Put a pencil in it and let it whack you in the back.
Or do what I like to call Florida Scarecrow, which is you get a business shirt and you stuff newspaper so the arm looks like an arm,
then you
and
stick
then
it
you
in
see
your
the
pocket.
Yeah. Florida Scarecrow.
I love Florida
and
Scarecrow.
so no one knows. They're like,
Yeah.
that guy just likes one hand in his pocket at all times.
Yeah, that guy loves to
Yeah.
masturbate while he's talking to me.
That's just me, though. So you
I
can
think
do whatever you want.
How would you do it?
I don't think I would do anything. I just live with it.
But I'm
Well,
saying,
no,
would you
I'm
hide it
I'm not
from the
hiding it.
public?
Would
It's
you
too
wear
hot.
that tattoo or
It
that
is
tattoo?
hot.
Would you wear that tank top if you had a nub?
Yeah, it's hot.
Oh, I wouldn't be able
you'd
to
have
look
to-
at you the same way.
You'd have to move north.
Yeah,
So,
you'd have
yeah,
to put a hat on it or something,
Move north.
or put you'd have to. Yeah, like I wouldn't be able to look at you if you had a flapper.
You know who I appreciate? This is horrible, but you know who I appreciated? I forgot his name now. The guy from Super Troopers who had the fake leg, but he had the prosthetic that looked super realistic.
I'm blanking on his name.
Not Jay.
Steve Lemmy?
Not
No,
Lemmy.
not Lemmy.
It's the other. I forgot his name. But he came into our old studio years ago. Anyway, he had a prosthetic. But his prosthetic was made to emulate a real human leg.
Yeah, it had woven hair. It matched his skin tone perfectly.
Yes, it was a custom-made prosthetic to make
Eric Stolhansky?
Stolhansky.
Yep.
Anyway, it didn't. He was wearing shorts, and I
Couldn't
could
tell.
not tell he had a fake leg until
Once you touched it, that
So
was
the
cold.
skin tone was the same?
Oh, yeah.
They
Couldn't
make
tell.
it to look like your other leg, even to like the hair type and stuff.
Oh, it's crazy. Well, they hand do
But I like that.
They hand do the hair. It looks like if you've ever been on Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride, when you look up and there's a pirate on the bridge and he's hanging his leg over and there's hair on the leg. It looks just like that.
Either that or full Terminator 2 robot leg. The only thing
I like
don't
Iron Man arm. I've seen little kids that have Iron Man arms, and
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
The only thing I don't like about robot leg is they always put it into a regular shoe.
Yeah, you got to put a robot boot.
Yeah, I want a robot boot.
Space boot.
Yeah, some sort of space boot or
Yeah.
I'm fine
Don't be putting that thing in an old pair of Chuck Taylors.
because I'm fine with just a metal robot foot. Because
Yeah, don't put a sock on it.
you
That's
don't-
degrading.
You don't need an insole in
No.
a shoe because that's to protect your real foot.
Well, maybe you don't want your foot to get scratched up on
So
the
you
bottom.
want to hide the nub arm, but
Yes.
show the robot foot.
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
robot
yeah,
foot
yeah.
is less disgusting than a nub arm.
I don't
That's
like-
just facts.
I don't like the robot leg changes into just a shoe form. Like,
And I
you know,
don't want to see where it
you put
connects
it-
either. I don't want to see where the robot
Yeah, put
leg
a
goes
sock
into
over
your
that.
body. Put your underwear on and cover that up. I don't need to see the
Could
linkage.
you walk into a store with just your fake foot?
Yes.
Because that's technically not barefoot,
Yeah, you
right?
can.
It's not flesh.
Well,
Yeah.
you're not going to be stepping. If you step in dog
so if
doo,
you had one shoe on and one just prosthetic foot.
are you asking
Fine.
if no shoes, no
Right,
service,
yeah.
no shoes, no shirt, no service is
Is that against the rules? If you don't have a shoe on your
if
fake
you,
foot?
Okay, if you have one fake robot leg, you get a pass. If it's dual legs, if you got double robot legs, you got to put some sandals on.
Okay.
And the no shoes, no shirt, no service, that's just meant for the local hobo, right?
Yeah, it's hobo rules.
Yeah, because I feel like I've gone into 7-Eleven.
Like if you're a businessman and you walk in, you got a
Or if
tuxedo
you're-
on but no shoes on, they're going to still serve you.
Or you're near the beach. I've walked in plenty of 7-Elevens with no shirt, no shoes because I
Jesus,
was
man.
straight from
Yeah.
the beach. Younger Tom
they
man.
profile you and they know that you're not screaming about the war or
Yes,
yelling
yes.
or like talking into your pocket
They're
or
just like,
pee in your pants. You don't smell like poo poo.
this guy's just a 20-year-old near in the Florida's trash, and
Yeah,
I'll
this
serve
guy
him.
just wants a Mountain Dew and some Reese cups.
But the guy that's constantly panhandling outside,
Yeah.
you're trying to put that sign to get him out of there.
Yeah. It's a deterrent. It's hobo rules.
All right. I'm glad we figured it out
Yeah.
today. Right?
Massages. It's a hot topic. Where do you stand on massages,
I just
Tom?
booked a massage.
Oh, greasy
oh,
hair.
we'll
Oh my
see what
God! Did you get the
happens.
Deshaun? What did you?
I don't know.
Where'd you
I'll
book it?
report back.
Yeah.
Is that a
Where'd
like
you
a
book it
fancy
at?
It's
spa?
at a fancy spa. The Gilligans bought
Hey.
me a gift card for my
Ooh,
birthday.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
at a Piggly Wiggly. Like, hey, let's try this one.
Hey guys, I just wanted to check in about that massage therapist, Deshaun Watson thing. My wife is a massage therapist, and that 100% does not fly. She has had.
Well, we know it doesn't fly. Did you think we? Did you
What did you
honestly
hear us say?
We didn't say, oh, these massage therapists, they got it all wrong. Deshaun, free him. Free Deshaun.
I thought it flies.
Yeah, it totally flies. Checks out. Nobody said that.
yeah.
And try to get handsy and say stuff like that, and she just straight blacklists them from
Of course.
the establishment, and they're never allowed in.
Yes.
And certainly never allowed on her.
Because they're
book ever
sexual
again.
predators.
Yeah, that's
If you
that's
touch
ridiculous what that guy
someone
said.
without their approval, you
What were you listening to? We
I think you guys did make a joke about like if you're going to that many massages, what do you think he's doing or something? I don't know. I'm not sure. We talk so much about it. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Who knows what we said?
and we're talking massages, so I'm automatically getting too hot.
And maybe he, I
It's
don't
like a
know.
sauna in here.
It's just the vast number of what
Yeah,
he.
it's too
of the-
much.
It's like it doesn't even matter if like everything is blown out of proportion. It's just there. So many. You obviously have some sort of addiction or a problem or
Yeah.
a predator. There's some problem.
There's a problem.
I don't know anybody that says no problem there.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah, definitely a problem. Let's try. Oh, you got an email? Let's try
Sure.
email. Yeah, let's do an email.
Act little lazy. Hey guys, I was just listening to an ACT and had to pause it to say Dan is spot on with the metalheads. I worked overnight for a year at Lowe's Stocking, and we had a guy who blasted death metal and wizard metal on the speaker. Instead of the Oakley shoes, Dan said he wore black combat boots and all the skull rings, shaved sides on his head with a braided ponytail.
Yeah, they love that look. They'll die with that look. And you know what? I support that. Because they know what they like and they're true to it. I support that. Like a lot of these guys are like they wear the leather bracers, black combat boots. They live in Florida for Christ's sake. It's 105 degrees today. They've got black combat boots on, a pocket full of World of Warcraft cards, and so they
Long hair.
long
That's
hair,
hot too.
dripping with rings they bought at the flea market, just skulls and fake ruby eyeballs. And
Everything they're wearing is hot.
Hot.
Like imagine a bunch of metal rings heating in
Yeah.
the sun.
You're dressed like a Winnebago Viking.
You have black nail polish on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even know if that's a metalhead's.
Yeah, sure.
But
100%.
anyway, I do agree with Daniel. I like the fact that you stick to it through your entire life and
Yeah.
that you go into your 60s.
Yeah, I love it.
You are in your core.
Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have some listeners. I mean, our buddy Adam, who's in the BDM group. I mean, that guy is as metal as it gets, and I don't think I've ever seen that guy not wearing a black T-shirt and black jeans and boots. You know, he's just that guy.
Some people do transition and like
Chatman transition.
Yeah, where you transition to.
Then you usually go businessman, and then
Yeah.
But then you always have a couple of little like regretful.
skulls.
Yeah, you're always like, I'll know you'll be at a pool party, and I'll be like, that guy's a great salesman, and I'll look and I'll see on your ankle you have one Tasmanian devil tattoo, giving the devil horns, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think this guy used to listen to the metal.
Yeah. And then there's like other tells that you have like where your ears were pierced a bunch of times. Like you can see, you're like that business dad had a bunch of ear piercings.
Yeah, and he goes through that one phase where he's still dressing business but has long hair. Dude, is that still a thing? Where if you're listening to me right now, think hard, people in your cars. Think of that one person at your place of business that you know should cut their hair, but they're not going to because they love it so much, but they still have to wear like suited tie.
My buddy the Wizard's like this.
It is off-putting to me when you're dressed full suit, but then you have a ponytail. I can't take it seriously. I can't take it seriously.
He was working at the Capitol building or whatever.
He pulled his ponytail back.
He said it was January 6th. It was weird.
He's in the trial right now.
But he had like every once in a while he had to wear a suit and go into work before Corona or whatever.
Yeah,
and he'd be a full suit, long.
He didn't like tie it up.
Trash hair.
You gotta tie it back.
It was all wispy.
No,
those guys always have disheveled suits and ponytails. They pull their hair back. It looks like the world's most business scientist. I hate it.
Yeah. Is you're holding on to something? He's holding on to. I don't know what he's holding on to.
Yeah,
It's like why is her hair so long?
But will he give you like some sort of super logical answer? Like why cut it? It's a waste of time.
No, it's illogical because it's more of a pain in the ass to have long hair, right?
But why? So ask him, why does he have it?
Yeah, I think he's holding on to like his youth, or like that's the only thing left that he can express himself. I don't know. It's bizarre. It's like, or
because I support it if he likes it. I support what he likes, But it is like you don't see many people his age with long hair. Now you see people older than him with long hair, because I feel like there's a gap in the middle where you go short hair and you kind of become a short hair man.
Yeah.
I don't want to say a responsible person.
You never go back.
There are long-haired people that are truly responsible. But there's an area of your life where you go short hair, and then you're short hairman, and then you do reach a point where you're like, I'm back to long hair again. Don't care.
Well, that's when you get to don't care, and
that's
then,
a little
long
more,
hair don't care.
Yeah, a little more Jimmy Buffett-y.
And then you just let it grow out because you don't want to go to the barber. I think a little bit of my buddies like that, but it's long. I mean, it's down to the middle of his back.
Yeah, that's long.
Yeah,
it's long
because you can
Ross does that, but he doesn't dress business. That's the thing.
No, Russell's even more novelty, I think, in some ways than me. Like crazy socks or a zany shirt or something like that. And he's lost a lot of weight too.
I could fall into the don't care how I look
lifestyle.
You kind of still are.
I'm struggling just to comb my hair.
You used to want your hair long, and your wife used to want your hair long. And what happened with that? Where did that dream go?
Well, I just represent my company, and at sales meetings, I can't look disheveled. No one's gonna take us seriously.
I want to get a face tattoo and shave my head.
That's fine because you're the artist. That I
okay, I'm the artist.
Yeah. Then when I am business meetings, I'm like, yeah, Dan's the artist.
He's just like The Weeknd, but not talented.
He's the talent.
No.
I just I'm the money guy. That's what
Let's do this one. Oh, hold on. That didn't work.
Tom and Dan and Sam. Hey guys, it's Kenny.
That's the one about EJ's cargo van. I'm sorry. No. Can't play that one because we've already covered that.
We've discussed it, yeah.
Let's try this one.
Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio. Every few months or so I get hiccups, and they'll last for like 2 or 3 days and then they'll go away. Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, I had hiccups one time for like a full week, and I got in my own hypochondriac way. I started thinking I was going to be like one of those kids. There's a girl that was doing the rounds on all of the big late night shows where she had hiccups for like her entire life.
Yeah, it was a long time.
And I don't think it ever went away. In fact, I think she still has it now. And that, to me, there's something terrifying about that.
Yeah, torture.
It would be terrifying knowing that you have this involuntary thing that you can feel at all times and you can't stop it and you'll have it forever. That is just terrifying.
There's some weird explanation for why we even get hiccups. It's like
is it your diaphragm?
Something left over from evolution that didn't like something like.
Isn't it a spasm of some sort?
Hiccups can happen for a lot of reasons. Some of them are physical and some emotional. That's because the actual irritation happens in the nerve connecting the brain to the diaphragm. Some common causes include eating too much or too quickly, feeling nervous or excited, drinking carbonated beverages or too much alcohol, stress, a sudden change in temperature. I'm about to start hiccuping. It is hot in here.
Yeah, it is very
or
hot.
Swallowing air while sucking on candy or chewing gum.
I can't eat candy without sucking all the air down.
What?
I'm a perpetual candy sucker.
What is it your body's doing though? Like that's like I understand the cause is.
I guess it's just like a spasm, right?
Yeah.
Is your diaphragm
spasm in your diaphragm?
Okay. And it's
diaphragm. I always thought that was a thing that ladies used, but I guess it is a thing that ladies use.
I don't think they make those anymore.
Oh, they make them, but it's just like an older. It's like it's like
the sponge.
Yeah,
right?
they still make the sponge. It's just you got to be an old granny to use it.
I think they took those off the market years ago.
No, they still got them. All that stuff's still around.
Oh, you can get it.
You can get anything. Yeah, Alibaba got diaphragms. I'm sure of it.
Oh, yeah. Alibaba got everything. Have you ordered? Someone's ordering something from Alibaba a lot.
That's Tony.
Oh, okay.
We got him.
Definitely
Tony ordered a box of Alibaba dildos.
He won't tell us what's in the box.
He won't tell us.
Should we open it?
Tony, if you're going to order dildos, you just got to send them to your house, not our house, because they're.
Yeah, what's in that package?
Oh, you don't want to know.
He didn't tell us. He said it was a personal order.
Yeah.
Oh, then.
Yeah, I put it on the company card. Tom said I could before you get mad. No, he didn't.
It's pretty heavy too. What is in
pretty
there?
Heavy. It shakes like dildos. Like I've shaken a lot of boxes of dildos. This shakes like a box of dildos.
Yeah, you could tell.
I can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
This is not my first rodeo.
And they're big too.
Yeah, they're lumpy. They're big and lumpy. Like they're okay. I'm just gonna say it. They're butt plugs. It's got to be. They're flange. I can hear the flange end.
Let's do another voicemail.
All right, let's try this one.
Hey everybody, this is Tim from Ohio. I work in the automotive manufacturing industry and occasionally have to do big long road trips to go put out fires or meet people. So today I'm doing a trip from Ohio to Oklahoma for a meeting I have in the morning, which is as much of a nightmare as it sounds. It's going to end up being about 14 hours in the car. But I have a lot of fun making a thing of it and stopping at roadside attractions and whatever catches my eye. And what prompted my call is a roadside attraction somewhere in Missouri called Uranus. It's a fudge factory, and their slogan is that the best fudge comes from Uranus. My question is, did you grow up going on road trips? And if you did, like, what were some of your favorite places to stop, or what were some of your routines or the things that your family did? I'll hang up and listen.
That's a great question. The Dennises were a tried and true south of the border family.
Look at what I wrote down. I wrote down south of the border.
Yeah, that's why we're in business together. Our fathers would have been friends. They would have. They're guaranteed they would have known each other for sure. If they weren't hanging out, they definitely would have known each other. My dad would have been like, "That's the guy that can fix your boat. You take it to him. I guarantee it. Go see Tom. He won't cheat you."
The south of the border was... I'd like to, in my mind, it was an annual trip, but I think we only went once because, we had to drive from Miami.
At least once a year because we were always in Virginia.
Yeah, so. And it's closer for you, but like I remember driving from Miami. It was quite a hike, but you got close to it. There would be signs every mile. They're like...
Tons of them. Buc-ee's is trying to do a little bit of that too.
Yeah. It's
like, for instance, here, I'll bust a myth. You know the sign that Buc-ee's has that says "Risk it for brisket"? Mm-hmm. That's been up way before the pandemic. That's been up for, since Buc-ee's was a thing. They weren't trying to mock the pandemic. That was fake news that somebody got a hold of and tried to make it seem like they were insensitive to a virus killing people, and they were not. They were trying to rip off south of the border with a series of signs leading up to Buc-ee's that say, like, "Come see us." They've got tons of them.
Yeah. It's funny that how those things take off, and they're like, "Look at Buc-ee's."
Yeah, it is. It's also embarrassing.
Take a risk getting corona for a biscuit. I like who gets mad. He was like, first, I thought that they were doing that. Don't care. I don't care about anything. I don't care what anybody does. Do whatever you want.
But hey, Sam tried their brisket. Not bad, right?
It's pretty good.
It's not bad. It's definitely not. Somebody said in the chat room and I think on our BDM page that the pulled pork is better. I'll try it. I haven't had the pulled pork from Buc-ee's. The part that made me sad though is they do make everybody that cuts the brisket and the pulled pork wear a Toby Keith straw hat. I guess to add to the idea that you're having a true cowboy pull the pork or cut the brisket. I've never understood that. I don't care who's cutting it. You can look like a spaceman for all I care.
I wonder what was the catalyst to change the law where you can sell fireworks in Florida, because when I grew up, and Daniel too, and it must have been a long.
You had to go out of state.
Yeah, to only buy like the mortars and the rockets and the good stuff, you had to go.
Well, for firecrackers, you couldn't even get firecrackers, and all I wanted was firecrackers.
You had to go to Georgia to buy it. That's why the south of the border got so big. It was like, we sell fireworks right across and then bring them back to Florida.
Yep.
And it's weird.
My dad and his buddy got a box truck. They went up there and they loaded it full of, like, quote, illegal fireworks, and then came back and sold it to all their friends.
Just different in different states.
No, but it's like in the 70s and 80s where everything was dangerous. Everything else was dead. People were riding three-wheelers. You could ride a three-wheeler. It's not like Florida was some fancy state and Georgia was like the hillbilly state that sold fireworks. Florida's a hillbilly state.
It's just outdated stuff. Just like you can't drink on Sundays in certain counties. It's weird.
It is weird.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And then they changed it and never went back. And then it's like, fine. Didn't even need this rule or whatever.
It didn't seem like a thing. By the time I was of age to buy fireworks, you could buy them anyway.
Although there was a small period of time where you could only buy them near the beach. Like there was big brick and mortar firework places that were year round, but they were always near the beach. Like in Miami.
This fudge factory looks great, by the way. I'm like,
hey,
I want to check it out.
At my butt.
I never thought about going to Missouri, but maybe I will now.
I'm not going to Missouri just for fudge factory.
I'll find other stuff to do.
It's obviously the novelty.
Clever Cletus's Hillbilly Novelties.
That's wow.
They have a hillbilly nut scratcher, hillbilly shot glass.
Oh God!
Hillbilly cell phone that's made out of a log.
So you might be a redneck gift store. Oh God.
Back to this caller. He had to drive 14 miles round trip to go to some meeting.
Why
in
not
person.
Just fly?
Or well, not even that.
Zoom.
Have they got the memo that Zoom works?
Not in Ohio. They haven't got it in Ohio.
And it's like, do they actually need you in person? Like 14 hours of your day drive, all that waste of time and energy just so you could be in person at the is it that much of a difference? It's bizarre, right? Like you could sit behind a Zoom computer, save a bunch of gas and time and. Right?
I don't know because I know that my wife, she's had to go into the office today. I know that a lot of places are kind of going back to a little bit more of at least a little bit of in the office.
It's true, and I've heard people talk about they work. My buddy works for a law firm and saying that there's a lot of business that gets done just by being in the same building and then you talking to other lawyers.
There's a cohesiveness there, yeah.
And then the new lawyers that are getting hired on as law firm aren't meeting everybody because of COVID. Everybody's working remotely, so then they don't get to talk to the other people just about their cases, like a group think type of deal.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen because it naturally happens when everybody's in the same place. And I understood that, but it's like driving 14 hours round trip for a meeting. One meeting seems like that should be eliminated.
It sounds like he needs to be there, though. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that. Yeah. I don't think it makes sense to have lower-level employees that don't need to be at the meeting driving 14 hours. In fact, I would argue the opposite, that it's reckless of the company, because if you're driving 14 hours for that meeting and you get into an accident or something, isn't that on the company's
not unless you're on the clock. If you're driving to work and get an accident, then
14 hours though, man, you better be an important part of that meeting. Or I'd say no, you don't need to show up. We do that all the time here. If there's a meeting here, and let's say American Air and Heat, and you got something to do, and I'm gonna meet him this afternoon, I just say nah, dog, it's 30 minutes. You stay at home. I got this, and vice versa. If we had a meeting here, and I'm literally one street over, you'd be like, you don't have to be here.
Yeah, there's certain things when we work for a big corporation, all those promo meetings that you go to every week, where we just sit there and you know what I'm saying.
I usually just play the Bubble Bobble on my phone.
That could have been done over Zoom, no problem.
True. That's true.
And it's what do you want the person there for their brain? Do you want them there so they could see something with, you know what I'm saying? If it's just for them, their input in their brain, do it Zoom. And there's no point. But some people are old school. And
call back, sir, and tell us why you needed to be there. We'll tell you why they were wrong.
Sometimes it's the company just, giant corporate, you got to be here.
Yeah, I hate that.
Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
Our buddy Mark Villon's here. How you doing, Mark?
What's up, guys? Doing good.
So I've been talking to Mark recently, and he's been showing me all the progress on the new Villon clothing store.
Does it seem excruciatingly difficult? to you? Like, because it does to me. The build out looks very difficult, and he seemingly handles it. Look at the smile.
I know, yeah.
He's happy. He's upbeat and positive.
There's no AC in the building at all right now. So.
Hey, we're familiar.
We know that problem. Ours is more from not paying the bills.
But I figured we'd do a Weird Job Wednesday with Mark because being the owner of an apparel brand or an apparel company is weird to me, and it's something that a lot of people want to do.
I think a lot of people say it, especially podcasters. Not us, but a lot of podcasters will release one T-shirt and then they'll be like, we have a clothing brand now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
and that's not that's not what Mark's doing. He's like engineering the clothing from the ground up.
And when I first talked to you guys, I kind of compared it to podcasting, where it's like everyone has one, but not really.
Right, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
They have one, but are they making money doing it? Are they making a living doing it? Is it a legitimate company with employees, or is it a hobby? There's a spectrum of success there.
Yeah, we do a lot of manufacturing for other people, and it's that balance of when people want something made and they'll come talk to us and they have this great idea. And you just gotta try to reasonable.
You were talking about the White Claw tube koozie, right? I was feeling a little bit of a White Claw tube koozie carrier scenario there.
So from what I know and I've seen, it's like my buddies, and they'll get mad if they hear this. But like a while back when they were like, I feel like in their late 20s, early 30s, when everybody wanted to own their own small business.
You're gonna say.
They started their quote unquote apparel.
305.
They basically was just they printed T-shirts and they sold them with their own art.
Yes.
And then,
or one concept.
Yeah. And then and then they start wearing them. Then you're like, I'll support Joe. Right. I'll buy his shirt. So I buy one. We're all wearing it, right? And then they're like, look how much money we made up.
We made $70.
$70 profit. And then so they're like, this will never end. But then after. And then they put out their next one, and you're like, "Oh, I bought one.
50 more shirts.
I bought one already. I'll buy, I'll wait a little while to buy the next one." Then it falls apart. Then everyone starts arguing, and then they wear the shirt, and then you see a small resurgence of it, where it's like, "We're back again." I'm like, "Oh, they're doing it again."
I'll get one.
And then I'm like, "I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see it, so I don't have to buy another one."
Exactly. I mean, how many of those could you have?
Yeah. And it just seems like an insanely hard business to run. Like, and when you started Villon, Mark, I know we've talked to you a bit about this, but did you start in a similar fashion where you started just selling to friends and family and that kind of thing?
Yeah, actually, I started making bamboo wine holders and wood products, and I made shirts for that, and just kind of like steamrolled into then friends and family, and then I went straight to clothing, and then clothing just kind of kept going, and I went to school and trying to decide what I really wanted to do, and then it kind of just steamrolled to where we're at now, like kind of fast. Like, it doesn't seem like, but there was a lot of hard
trials
slow
and
months,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
You ever get anybody that's like, you know what, these hats and the board shirts are cool, but I really wanted a bamboo wine holder.
All the time.
Yeah, because I figured that.
It's like, I feel like the business is kind of random in the fact that you could have a good brand, and Villon does, but I bet a lot of other people have had good, like, if you want to call it beach lifestyle or beach brand or surf
like
brand,
whatever happened to hot tuna,
or skate brand,
or gotcha,
or you just add life to one side or salt somewhere.
Yes.
But I feel like there's been a lot of those, and then the ones that take off and the ones that don't, there's really no real rhyme or reason behind it. It's like everything's the right time. Is it? I thought it was all good. I was calling all your life's work look.
So everything you've done is basically just a dice roll, and hey, good for you, right?
I was calling all your hard work look.
Well, I wasn't thinking of us. When people come with the idea, sometimes you're just like, oh, like you don't know where to tell them. They're like, I want 1,000 of these, and we're like, no, start with 100, and then we'll make more from there.
Right. When people come to you with their own,
that's what I thought
their own business. I'm talking about, like, what do you think it was with Villon's brand that caused you guys to be so popular so fast? Because it seemed like you said, it hit and everybody wanted to buy it. And it's like, I don't know how big your following was before, but it seems like people just saw it and instantly
seems
wanted
like very
to.
community based, really.
Oh, I run in Satellite. Every other person has a Villon piece of clothing on him.
Yeah,
or a
that's what I
Villon
mean.
sticker
Is
on
like
a golf
in
cart.
in that area, it seems like you did a very good job of getting to know your regulars.
Well, yeah. Well, we started before social media, so it was like putting flyers on car windows, stapling them to the boardwalks, and so it started a long time of like growing the roots, and then now it's easy. Like now, Instagram, you post. We're gonna be here whenever people show up.
Yeah, it is easier to do it that way for sure.
So you had to grow at grassroots first, and then now you have a base of people that know your brand. Still, though, like how much of like releasing a new brand or new style or new, because you constantly do it all the time, and we've talked before off air just about like you do a great job with the quantities and releasing stuff, and it's selling out, and then releasing a new style and logo and things like that. But do you know right off the bat, like, once it's designed, like, this is going to sell based on what you know about your
Has there ever been anything
customer?
that you're like, it's going to be a home run, and you're like, you release it and
sometimes my favorite stuff is not the most popular,
Yeah.
but sometimes like when it's like ready to go and you see it, you're like, this is it.
Is your business fluid in the idea that, like, let's say coffee, I mean, obviously that's a big part of what you guys do, and that brand has, I think, been coming up. If that seemingly starts overtaking other parts of it, would you just go with that, or like?
Well, they kind of help each other. They feed it's like it's a good balance, because we're also going to do like beer and wine and stuff like that at the new shop. So it's going to be kind of not a bar, but a place you can go get drinks, you can get coffee. We'll have all our clothes, just kind of surfboards, skateboards, all that stuff.
See, I feel like, most of the time I'm screaming, why are you building a store? Or why does the store still exist? Everything's bought online. What the hell?
Yeah, you have been screaming that a lot.
But I feel like because when you first told me you were opening up like a store, my first thought was, why are you doing that? Because everything's bought online now. Like, you're going backwards.
You yell at me about that. Like, I still have cable, stuff like that. I'm the old man. Like, I still have cable. I like to watch live sporting events.
But as I started to look at it, and then I'm watching the build out, and I'm seeing the inside, and I'm like, well, this is more than just like a place where people can come by the Villon clothing. Like, this is like your headquarters. This is a destination,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like a beachside destination for people to go and shop, and because you're building the inside out super, like, it's nice as hell, basically. Yeah. Like, everything's custom, everything looks great.
Do you have to kind of do that now, because so much of what people buy is, very quick on the internet? Is it smart from a business aspect for you guys to super serve the experience?
Yeah, our plan's just to really, the locals are everything for us. Like, that's our bread and butter. So it's a place that they can come hang out, and everything's still available online. But we also have to keep the stuff somewhere. So if we're going to keep it, might as well have it a place where people can come in.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
and I've never thought about the fact that there will be backlash to everything being detached from an experience.
The beachside store, though, I feel like will never die because everybody wants to go into the quintessential beachside store.
And it feels right. When I'm beachside, I don't want a digital experience. I don't want a digital fish sandwich. I want to walk into the wooden place.
Write that down. Digital fish sandwich.
Don't write that down. Don't Google that, for Christ's sake. It'll give you something bad. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm at the beach, I'm wired differently. I'm like, I want to talk to people. I want to see the person behind. I don't want to tap the screen to order my food. I want to, like, have a discourse.
You're
with
out
a
in
human.
nature. Yeah. You want everything tangible, like
sunshine.
in person.
I want some rain. I want some wind.
So
and every inch of the store we're making, everything's handmade, and a lot. Like, we want to make it like visually overstimulating. So when you walk in, there's a lot to look at.
Yeah,
and we want it that way.
You've been sending me little bits and pieces here of just crazy artwork, and how difficult is it to find that much stuff, and how do you know when enough is enough? Like, how do you know when it's done?
I don't know.
Right, I know. I'm the worst about that. Like, he'll have to stop me, and he's like, "Okay, you stop hammering on that. You're done. You're done."
Yeah, our opening's coming up. It's go.
You're done. You're done. What are you doing? Yeah. And I'm over there like messing with a curtain.
Yeah. Like, we gotta rent it now. We're already 2 months behind. So when is have you said, Mark? It seems like you're
Are
so
you gonna try
laid
to put
back.
pressure on him? Like, when's
Yeah,
it open?
I want more pressure on you. You're enjoying life too much, and I'm making
You're
me
too
mad.
happy.
You do look awfully
Too
laid
happy, too
back for a
successful.
guy doing a massive build out of your entire brand. A little too laid back.
Because I'd be ultimate stress. I'd be pulling my hair out, sweating.
Oh, we know. You're yelling at You're like, I got to go back there. The Ring doorbell's batteries are out again.
Have you checked that lately?
Yeah,
Oh, it's been out for weeks. Been out for weeks.
So have you set a timeline?
We have no date.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
Because
that's what you should do, right? Why do I do this to myself? I'm like, this is the date.
There's
I'm
so
like,
many deadlines with you.
Oh my
because
God.
I feel like that's what
And
other
we miss
businessmen
them
do.
all. We miss every deadline.
Like I see other businessmen, they're stressed out, like they fall on their swords. Like that
He'll go,
because-
Airbnb, we have to build it out in 5 days. Get to work, Rick Scott.
You set a goal and then you have to work insanely hard to hit that goal's ultimate stress.
Well, he's still hitting his goal. He just doesn't know when the goal ends.
I know,
Which is great.
Well, maybe that's the right way to do it.
yeah, right. Because I do know once it opens, the fun part will kind of be, even though it's miserable and hot and a lot of work, but once it opens, then it's back to real work again. And so now it's just go in every day and start building stuff.
Well, then you're in there, and then you're like, "Where's the people?" You're like, get out there with the sign, and then you get
Make the coffee, steam the milk.
You get your local homeless beach bum out there with the
Yeah,
sign.
they're better though.
Yeah.
Homeless beachside to me they're usually nicer.
And then you're like, "Where's Greg? Oh, he stole the sign again."
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh no. Well, look, you don't want to know what he did to the sign.
So tell us about your founders program because
Wait a minute. We have a founders
yeah,
program.
yeah.
Hold on a second.
Well, let's talk about that.
You got a
because
copyright lawyer?
Mark did reach out. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna make this up because I think this happened, but I'm not 100%."
Wait, he's
I think you
right
asked us
here.
permission to-
He's right here.
No, but
you're gonna make up a memory in front of the person that you're remembering about.
Well, I am admitting it that I'm.
So you're gonna lie to his face, is what you're doing.
Admitting to everybody,
And you're hoping he's gonna go along with it.
I'm making this memory up, but I think you asked me, and you're like, "Hey, you mind if I do the
I
founder?"
know he asked me.
I said that to both. Yeah, I felt like that was a fair one.
You could have just asked me.
What if one of them would have said no?
We don't check, we don't look at the top to see if it's a group text message. We just say anything wildly, everything.
Yeah.
Well,
who is this?
Yeah. That's a dumb old man. I did that the other day. Sam had to tell me. I was like, God! I'm like, so hungover, my eyes are blurry. I can't see.
You did say that. Now I know what you're referencing because
Yeah,
you did
yeah,
say that.
yeah.
I'm so sorry. I don't like glasses. I'm hungover.
So you asked us about if we could do. By the way, which you didn't need to. You could have done it.
It's
And
not a genius idea.
I would have seen it and then been like, we should do that because I forgot we already did.
Me too.
So tell me about your founders program.
So we launched it the beginning of this month, and we're going to go all the way to July 1st is when the cutoff is. We're doing $350 a couple or like a family, or $250 for the single person, and then you get private grand opening and then a private party every single year from then on out. And it's not paid for every year. You pay one time and it's done.
One and done.
You get a discount forever in the store. Private release if we throw your photo on the wall. Kind of took a lot of the things you guys did.
It's
good.
smart
Yours
idea, man.
sounds better.
Yeah, because you're getting to go into an awesome beachside Villon store, and then you're like, "That's my
Forever discount."
Yeah, most of our founders, they came once, but
They're
then
real
they
mad
forgot.
we haven't done any events in a couple
Well,
years.
the world got shut down.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, there's that.
Yeah. So
I mean, we still technically invited them to parties. It's not our fault they can't come because little baby get corona.
So, Mark, I know you've invited me to go surfing multiple times, but I recently was at Satellite Beach and I tried boogie boarding. And it was right after, I'm sure you were surfing, right after that.
And you saw like him out there
tropical storm
rolling
came
in
through.
the surf.
Oh, yeah, we had a fun little
so-
stretch, yeah.
It was that Sunday after.
Call it
where
a sesh. They love that.
Yeah.
A fun little surf sesh.
So me and my buddy, the Wizard, were out there,
Yeah.
and in our minds, we were gonna show off to our
got,
kids that we could go out there.
Long-haired comic book.
Confederate flag boogie board.
Yeah, we had
the eastbound and down.
Yeah, so
It's
body
you
glove.
and Doc Brown out there. Long gray hair. Looks like you're boogie boarding with God.
Doc Brown ate some cheeseburger. We go out and it seemed like I was trying to duck dive the waves with, and then I was trying to jump over them, and I winded myself 25 minutes in, and I turned around and I've gone 10 feet, and I tried to catch a little wave and nose dove into
it blew the leash off your wrist.
So shallow, and huffing and puffing the entire time. My family stopped watching me, and I did think to myself, if I went out and was surfing with
you gonna
Mark,
start surfing, bro?
no, I'd embarrass myself and I think my surfing days are done or something. Like
we didn't even start them.
That's what I'm saying. Like I missed the window. Like
your surf window.
Yeah. Like I needed to learn in my 20s.
Is he too old to learn how to surf?
No.
Too old and
there's like 70-year-old guys out there.
Yeah, but they've been surfing their whole. See, that's the thing. Like, yeah, they're 70,
and they never
but
lose it. Like a guy's been surfing since like he was 5.
That's the thing. Yeah, and they've surfed every.
And they make
week.
it look easy. They're like walking to the front and they're walking to the back, and then they're just kind of just cruising on a wave.
In fact, I'm mad they're not better than they are.
Right.
They should be doing more than the young guys. They've been surfing for so long.
And they're all fudgy.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, starting now seems like an impossible task. Then my buddy the Wizard was like, "Oh, I'm gonna learn by the end of the summer," and I literally bet him $1,000.
Really?
He'll never like surf.
How long does he have to stay standing up on the board?
I said 10 Mississippis.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I could get him to it.
Our waves,
10
I
Mississippis.
don't even think our waves last 10 Mississippis.
Yeah, that might be pushing it, but
but that is about the amount of time that would tell me that you could at least get it together.
He'll never go 10
Like, it takes some talent to do 10 Mississippis, right? And like
we don't have enough wave.
Yeah, it ain't gonna last.
On the right day, if you go out there and
six Mississippis tops.
Yeah, 5 to 6, we can do it.
I'm talking I start the counter as soon as you push up off the board, like
pushing up off the boards. I don't even know if he can do that. I'd have to see how fast he pops up.
As soon as the board starts being propelled by the ocean,
I start the counter right off the board.
I'm just saying he'll never do it. Why are people convinced? It's because surfers don't know how to do it and make it look so easy.
They do make it look so easy. The guys that I'm most impressed with now, and it's in my algorithm, you guys might even see this on your TikToks. There's I follow all these professional skimboarders. And I love the dude.
I like when they run and they get on and sideways and then
they go towards the wave and then they instantly go up the face of the wave and then they're back down there riding. And I'm like, oh my God, you're a magical human being.
That's the most painful thing in the world, skimboard.
It's crazy.
If you fall there, you just stick. It's hard sand.
But these guys,
and the board is just gut you.
And this one guy, he's blonde. He's got dreadlocks. I forget the guy's name.
Austin Keene.
Yeah, and he's like, and I see him do a lot of videos out of Mexico. Like he's always in Mexico, and he'll come down.
He's running full speed.
Oh, it's amazing!
He transitions and he's sideways on the board.
Then he's barreled,
smooth. Like he's like yeah.
It's awesome.
And I'm like, how far he went.
To me, it's like surfing on acid because I'm like, well, you can do that anywhere. It looks hella dangerous, like you said. You just nosedive and you smash. I always think about him going up the face of the wave, and then it just like. If it's choppy or nasty, it just slams him straight down on the sand, right?
Oh yeah.
Because he's like, what is he in a foot of water?
Yeah, it's shallow.
It's really shallow, and this guy's a tall dude. He's looks like 6 foot or something. You know, he's not a little guy like me.
I saw some video on TikTok of one of these skimboarders because they show a lot of the successes, but this was a fail.
Oh, I want to see the fails.
And this guy got rocketed. Like the wave broke, but it was literally on the shore. Like I don't know what break this was, but it was like seemingly 6 to 7 to 8 foot tall, but breaking on the sand.
Oh yeah,
and
bad.
He got launched up, and then and like you see him do like a.
Well, they do that move where all the water gets sucked back into the wave, so it's just sand, and then you're on the crest of the wave.
And I'm like, this guy fell from like 8 feet onto his head onto like just the sand. He was fine, but I was like, that has to hurt a lot.
Start with surfing.
Yeah, surfing's a little bit easier. What else have you guys been doing? You been traveling much?
Not right now, just because of the shop. So we're trying to get that open so we can get back on the road.
Because normally he's out in like Colorado and then like Montana area, and you've been out there. Like that's where anybody that's successful is right now.
Oh yeah, they go out to the west.
Yeah, they out
'Cause
to the west.
Right now it's 70 degrees.
Yeah, it's 70 degrees in here.
Oh, the air turned off again.
It's
Did you
getting
notice?
hot again.
It was cool for a second.
It
but
blew
just-
10
on me.
Mississippis.
Yeah. Oh, no, not even. I think it was 6 Mississippis.
If you can do anything for 10 Mississippis, I'm impressed.
That's the thing. I can't do
You
much.
balance a baseball bat on your finger or whatever. 10 Mississippis is.
I can't do much for 10 Mississippis. I'm not a 10 Mississippi guy.
So, Mark, how can people sign up to become a Villon founder?
If you go to any of our social media, the link's there, or it's just under the website is villonfl.com. It's right on the headline or the header there.
Yeah, the little dynamic lead.
And the store, and a lot of people are like, I've seen the Villon coffee truck. It's right there in Goombay's parking lot,
Yep.
in Satellite
coffee,
Beach.
too.
And right next door is where the Villon store is going to be.
Yeah, where the coffee truck is now, the building directly behind it is the new shop.
I see it come along because now my buddy lives down there, so I'm down in Satellite a lot, and then I'm like, he's been putting more work into it.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, congratulations on it, man. We're glad it's
thanks.
it's getting closer and closer. And congrats on the Founders Program. That's awesome.
Thanks to you guys.
We should mention we got a co-branded Tom and Dan Villon shirt and hat. Daniel's wearing it right now.
And coffee.
And coffee, too.
Ooh, coffee.
So that's going to be out on our website. By the time you're hearing this, it'll be at tomanddan.com. Well, it's a limited run, so make sure to order it before it gets sold out, because it will.
And these hats, this style of hat is my favorite hat that you guys make, because this one, and I don't know if it's supposed to be, but are these supposed to be waterproof?
Yeah. Water resistant, so when you sweat, they're not all...
Yeah, I have a blue one, the teal one that I wear in here that has like a Villon shrimp on it or something. I don't know, it's my favorite hat. I look at it and then my wife's like, your shrimp hat. And I'm like, are you calling me short? But it's a great hat. Like, this is one of my favorite hats of all. It's like a, what do you call it? Like a golfer style with the little braided rope.
Yep.
Kind of a vibe. It's wicks the sweat away. Great hat.
If I'm walking down the beach and I give you a hang 10 sign, Mark,
what's a hang 10
you'll know
sign?
that,
What is the hang 10?
It was like it was on the hat. It's the pinky and thumb out.
It's the telephone.
And
Let me see you do it.
And then you waggle it a little bit.
Let me see you waggle.
I feel like
Let me see you do it.
Let me see you waggle.
You did it.
A
and
true
then you
surfer
were afraid.
can waggle it.
You did it, and you were afraid.
Yeah, because
I
I don't
saw
know
you
the
do
right.
it, and you put it down.
It's too fast. My waggle's too fast.
He did. He made the gesture with his hand, and then you shamed him.
Yeah, it's I gotta have a looser,
You
more
a looser
relaxed-
waggle.
Yeah, loose waggle.
You're
too stressed
and
out business
also
waggle.
This is too tight. Why are you holding it so tight?
Because I'm forcing my fingers.
He's got hand problems, and you know that.
Yeah,
If you got hand problems, I feel bad for you, son.
I got my.
You got a tight waggle, and that's not how it's done.
My fist is too tight. My waggle's too fast. Anyway,
fast waggling, tight fist.
Mark, we gotta get out of here. It's so hot.
I'm delirious with the heat. I'm having a heat stroke.
All right, we'll be right back with more Corporate Time.